You'll see on the Donaghy, it's very heavy-handed, and it's
that was illegal.
So that's shocker. David started to fix some things.
Yeah, exactly.
Straps. I mean, LeBron James ended up in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio.
How do you think Patrick Ewing avoided the Warriors?
Well,
the frozen envelope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yao Ming doesn't go to the Warriors.
Mullen, so it worked out.
Right.
We'll take that one.
You wouldn't be working with Mullen.
Yeah,
Right?
I know. You're right. You're right.
We got
Well, he's the best.
We got a Chris and Tim Burger out of it. So
there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Hall of Famers.
What are you guys going to be talking about today?
All kinds of stuff. I think this is the
Giants baseball.
No. Actually, we're definitely going to start with 49ers. Like, listen,
Cal Berkeley, big win over UC Davis.
There you go.
Stafford Colgate.
Take the big out of it. But
Stafford Colgate. Stafford USC this week.
I'm a little more
covered.
I'm a little more focused. I'm a little more focused on what Utah didn't do against Florida. But anyway,
I cashed on that.
Did you really?
Yes,
If you watched the game, you should not have.
I did.
Got lucky. You got so lucky. But anyway, no, it's week 1 in the NFL, and that's where I think all of our hearts and minds are for sure. And I don't think, maybe you guys can help us with this, I don't think I can relate any season in 49er history to the start of this from this perspective.
Said that on a roundtable.
I've never, ever seen, whether it's a new quarterback, a returning quarterback, I've never seen somebody take the reins where the opinions about what's about to happen range from he could win the MVP to he's going to be benched before the end of September. Have we ever seen something like that where legitimate people with legitimate NFL eyes are leaving that wide of a spectrum on the table? You could win the MVP, or we could be screaming about you on Monday, September 12th, that we need to go to the backup. I cannot think of any other player who has entered what Trey is about to enter. That's wild.
Yeah, you stumped me on that one. I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody that had both ends of the spectrum were considered totally viable.
What about just a Niner season opener? Like what you said, I agree.
That's a great question.
I agree. Just like we're talking about it on the roundtable, David said it was like there's so much intrigue going into 9/11 at Soldier Field. And I can't think like Mooch. I don't remember his opener Tampa Bay.
Oh, like an opener,
whatever. Like just.
I mean, I guess
going into a
everyone
season
got hurt. In that
like
Tampa
everybody,
Bay
Rice and
Jerry Young, everybody went down, and
that's when the Tampa Bay Bucks became the Bucks.
And they opened with those pewter jerseys.
The new uniforms, Tampa Stadium. Yeah,
it's hard to say. I mean, I would say this is the most anticipated Niners season since maybe '94. When Carmen Policy signed Dent and Ricky and Norton and Dion and
God, that was
because you think about when other quarterbacks, and if you do want to just liken it to someone who's sort of taking over as a first-year starter by Kaepernick, we had already seen a playoff victory, right? By the time he started the year, a week 1 player, and then the other guys who do it, Alex Smith. I mean, you're a pup and you're taking over a bad team.
Well, they should never trade.
Even Garoppolo, who had come in and done the 5-game win streak, the thought was the team is not ready to go win a bowl. And if I'm remembering correctly, did they lose to Minnesota
they
week 1?
They should have lost to Detroit.
On the
Minnesota we weren't coming in going like there was Jimmy excitement, but it wasn't like you're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
So this is very unique.
Well, Alex Smith's debut, I remember that Colts game.
We brought this up the other day.
No buzz for that game. It was empty. Threw 4 or 5 picks, a pick 6. There was no buzz.
2 fumbles.
And that was the number 1 overall draft pick.
I remember Peyton met him at half-field, in midfield or whatever. I was like, good luck, kid.
Good
I'm
luck,
like,
kid.
Oh, my God.
Peyton didn't even play great that game.
So old compared to Alex Smith.
And they were
like the same age.
To put this into perspective, though, about a human's arc, Trey Lance this weekend will become, I believe, the youngest ever week 1 full-time starter, but by 1 day. One day younger than what Alex Smith was when he got signed by Peyton Manning.
Going back to 1950 or whatever. That's a long time.
The only other thing that I can think of in terms of just like craziness was Steve Young, and this was the beginning of camp, not the beginning of the year, but he talks about it in his book, QB, where he shows up in 91 after Montana gets knocked out. He hears all offseason, Montana's hurt, he's not going to play, they said the other, and he shows up in 91 and he's ready to go. And then after 2 or 3 practices, the elbow just gives out and his whole entire season's over. Right. And Steve was furious that the 49ers lied to him. Like, I thought that Joe was going to be hurt. And he showed up and then he only practiced for a couple of days. And then the elbow gave out. He didn't play the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be hysteria.
Well,
They were coming
that
off
was-
the 3 straight NFC championships.
That was its own unprecedented, and I don't
2
think
out of
it'll
3
ever be matched. Like
I mean, it's
a quarterback controversy between 2 Hall of Famers, where one of them walks in at the time with the label best ever.
Right.
We're never going to see something like that
No.
again.
No.
And they
doesn't
took
relate.
turns looking over each other's
Yes.
shoulders.
Right.
too.
Totally.
Yes.
This
Totally.
doesn't
I mean, that's
relate.
never going to happen
And look,
again.
Bill Walsh is trying to trade him for John Elway for crying out loud. Joe Montana. This
Wild.
doesn't become close. Alex Smith, Kaepernick, that was a little weird too
That's
because that
interesting.
happened mid-season.
And then
Mid-season, he
they
got the Monday
traded
night
him.
game. Then they traded Alex Smith.
him, and it
Right.
felt like going into 2013 because that was that Green Bay
Right.
game
Yep.
where I was at home and Anquan Bolden had just
Went
got in.
crazy.
Crabtree went down with the Achilles. Like there were a lot of question marks,
Right.
but they had moved Alex Smith away,
Captain
and there was
for over
no
400.
doubt who the number 1 dude was.
Would Alex Smith have beaten the Ravens?
No.
Alex Smith
I
wasn't
tell
going to
you
get
this.
past Green Bay in the
No,
playoff
no,
game
no.
at home when
Or
they were
the
down 45.
Falcons.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
or
going to
Green Bay, yeah.
They fell down
They
17
scored
nothing from the
45 at
Falcons.
home.
Alex Smith never rallied that team from 17
17
0.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Probably not.
Yeah,
On the road.
I think it was the right move.
I mean,
I
Alex,
endorsed it at the time.
Alex, I did too. Alex got into one playoff shootout in his life, and it worked. I mean, don't
What,
give
against
him
Indianapolis?
his flowers against Saints. Yeah,
They should have
Oh,
won that game going away.
of
They had like
course.
6
The Saints
interceptions.
turned the ball over
Yeah,
4
There you
times,
go.
and David Akers broke the field goal record for a reason because Alex Smith was good for 17 play,
You can't
80-yard
take away the
drives
6
that
minutes,
resulted
though.
into 3 points.
If Kyle Williams doesn't have just a nightmarish
Oh my
day,
gosh.
does Alex Smith go to the Super Bowl?
Well, yeah.
Vernon
They
did
beat the
his first
Patriots that
play in
year.
and they
game.
win.
Yeah.
They beat
And
the
they
Patriots
win.
that year,
Yep.
no doubt.
Yep.
Remember Kyle Williams
We
in that
signed
game?
Mario
People forget.
Manningham after that game, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and he tore his ACL in
Don't
Seattle.
even start me.
I was excited
Kyle
about that when
Williams?
it happened.
In that
We all
game,
were.
you probably remember this. There was a reverse they ran for Kyle Williams, and he dropped the
Yes.
pitch on the reverse,
Yes.
and there was nothing but green grass in front of him. People forget about that. It was going to be a
Bradshaw
big, like
fumbled.
40-yard chunk play.
Ugh.
I'll never forget when Matt Mayoko sent out the tweet, Tankett Jr. is inactive. And I kid you guys not, my best friend, Philly Zoo, I looked at him and said, oh, I don't like that. That's a problem. Because remember earlier that season,
Yes.
Kyle Williams almost got his neck broken in Seattle on the kickoff return. He's fiddling with the football, and Seattle came down on Christmas Eve, nearly broke his neck. Oh, why
Vernon
we go down
scores a
that rabbit
touchdown
hole?
on like a 70-yard
Kyle
play in the
Williams.
rain and jumped onto the light post. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, we're going to rout him.
I'll
And
tell you
was
what
so
I
wrong.
remember about that game was how bad the Niners were on 3rd down. Remember?
1
1
for
for
15.
13.
Yeah.
Was it 15,
I-
13?
whatever.
It was like
Throwing
1
to
for
Brett
13. Yeah, and it was Alex Smith, all these low and away.
right.
It was
And
awful.
Eli Manning evaded about 15 sacks in that game
Yeah.
by just throwing. It was Eli's finest moment. I'll never forget that walk out of Candlestick.
Well-
One of the worst losses ever.
Well, also, Terrell Brown got hurt in that game.
He did.
And so on
He was
that
key.
3rd down, he was key because they dropped the pick. Him and who was it? Golston. They ran into each other or
collided.
something. They collided.
Yeah.
And so whoever the back, it was
Culliver.
no, it wasn't Culliver.
That
I
was
think
the Super Bowl where he wouldn't shut up.
Tremaine Brock.
Tremaine
was the
Brock.
guy who replaced him, and he got beat on that 3rd down for a
Tremaine
Mario
Brock.
Manningham touchdown. Terrell Brown.
That Niner D-line that night was so
Oh
dominant.
my God.
It
So
was
dominant.
Incredible.
Matt Brashaw fumbled.
Was that Glenn
Yeah.
Dorsey?
Who
No,
was
he
it?
was. He came a year after.
It was Justin.
Sapuaga.
It was Cowboy and
Sapuaga.
Brooks
And
Ray McDonald.
and Ray McDonald
Ahmed
and
Brooks was-
Alden.
I think Ahmed Brooks second or third all time in sacks for the Niners, which is a wild thing to say out
Dude,
loud.
that front seven was
Isn't it?
nasty.
They were nasty.
They were nasty.
I love that team.
So
Wasn't
this
they
is-
killed the Niners.
This
I
is
think?
this is
the
sort
Hawk
of
would do this.
Victor Cruz killed the Niners in that first
Oh,
half.
salsa dancing.
this is emblematic of what we're talking about. I know every platform out there is going to have a the power rankings and
Yeah.
stuff like this. But I was just scrolling through here, and Pro Football Talks power rankings.
Where do they have the Niners?
What do you think?
Well, Bleacher
11.
Report had the Niners 15. I was like, what?
Everybody's
15?
hedging their bets.
The Niners are not a top 10 team.
Well,
Come on,
this is
man.
what
I've
I
seen a
mean.
lot of 15s from
So-
like top ranked
That's-
offenses.
that's way too low.
top ranked teams.
So what do you
They're
think?
more like 8. I would say
9.
if you're going to be fair, it's got to be 8 to 10 in that range.
Okay, actually, PFT's got him at 7. And
Okay.
this is what I'm talking about. PFT, which is run by a guy who has been attacking Jimmy Garoppolo for the better part of 3 years now.
Florio.
So maybe,
Our guy, Mike Florio.
So maybe that's fine. Like that's whatever. That's his opinion. And so maybe that has something to do with this. But it's wild how many people. It's like you're going to be the 7th best team in football, yet this team makes people talk out of both sides of their mouth because it's like they're the 7th best team in football, and we think their quarterback's going to get benched 5 weeks in.
Right.
You can't be both. You cannot be both. You cannot be the 7th best team in football and have a quarterback that you all think is going to fail a month from now. How does
I
that?
want to talk
how do
more.
those
I want
two
to hammer
things-
down on that today because to me, Peter King suggesting week 7, others people suggesting that Trey's going to get pulled. It just doesn't seem like it's based on a whole lot.
No,
well, it can't be.
Because what does it look like? What if they're 3-4 week 7? They're 3-4, but yet they're tied for the 5th spot in the NFC. Are you going to bench Trey?
Well,
and
then,
look
at Kyle's history. Like Kyle went through this last year, and they were darn close to pulling him, but they didn't. Like I think that there's going to be a pretty long leash. The difficulty, which we've talked out so much over the last 2 weeks, the difficulty is if there are struggles, it's just going to be so damn loud, so fast from everybody. The locker room, the media, the fans, everything. It's just becomes a big, pot of stew that's getting stirred really, really fast if there's struggles. But I don't think the 49ers are activated on the idea of an early pull.
No,
at all.
No way.
That would be disastrous.
He can throw 3 touchdowns and 300 yards against Chicago, and that Monday morning people are going to say, well, it's just the Bears.
He threw it a little like we were talking about.
I hate that. Well, actually, you know what? Bonte, that's a great sign, though. Because in the Niner heyday, that's all they ever did was judge victories.
Yes.
We won by 24, but it should have been 31.
Yeah, it's 100%.
The ball placement on that Texas
11:07 and you're playing the Saints on the road. You should be up 28-0 already.
Right, exactly.
It's not going to stop. The noise is not going to stop. No. At all.
I'm with you.
As long as he's in the locker room. But look, the insurance policy, and the more we get away from the restructuring of the contract, the more I'm convinced that they did this because they didn't have faith in Sudfeld and Brock Purdy. They didn't want to end up like 2018 and 2020. Jimmy goes down in week 3 against Kansas City. We were like, damn, we got 3 months of meaningless football.
You know what? I talked to a guy in the league this weekend, and I won't name him, but he told me, because it would make some headlines.
Sources are telling me.
He said that, I said, what do you think the Trey thing, the Jimmy thing, the Trey thing, what's it all about? Give me the the crux of the whole thing. He says, it's about intel. It's about protecting intel.
So if he goes to the Rams or the Seattle Seahawks, they're getting, I'm just using them as hypotheticals, they're getting specific intel about this particular team.
This guy's argument was that the guys who wear the green dot on defense and the quarterback on offense, you protect that intel with everything you got.
So I'll certainly buy, as I just stated a handful of minutes ago, like if there will be a documentary about this summer one day, because there's no way there weren't 80 different things going on that led to this. And we're naive if we're like, oh, good backup. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh my God, there must have been so much going on. However,
cheap Wrangler, unlimited 40.
Like intel's no big deal because they're playing Baker week 1. And he's like, that's overrated. So which is it?
Well, I'll say this. Go check your transaction wire. There are teams that have picked up guys who will wear the green dot or quarterbacks, and they don't even play them. They have them in their building. They get every secret they can out of them, and then they buy them lunch and say goodbye.
Pete Carroll's notorious for doing that.
DJ
pick up all the Niners.
Yeah.
What do you got on Harbaugh? What do you got on the Niners? What's going on in Santa Clara? They're known for that.
Pretty good.
Interesting stuff there. Krueger, Willard, Krueger coming up until high noon. That'll be brought to you by the San Diego Tourism Authority. When you're happy you know it, clap your hands. Or if you're happy you know it, you're in San Diego, there's no limit to how you can show it. Endless sunshine, coastline, and outdoor adventures inspire waves of feel-good vibes. Plan your trip today at san diego.org.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month with no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses with the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 9/21/22. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
Why do we find popping bubble wrap so satisfying? Why do we say boop when we touch somebody's nose? Boop. Why do we turn anything and everything into drums?
Honey, I need those pots to start dinner.
Why do we sing in the shower?
I'm taking a shower.
And outside the shower.
This conference call is boring.
Rick, you are not on mute.
Why? For the same reason we play scratchers from the California Lottery. Because a little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Okay, you know those amazing spots only the true San Francisco locals are in on? Like that place with the square pizzas? Or Mama the spot for sweet and sour chicken that's anything but so-so. Or you know, with the Granch dressing. And all the other spots the real SF locals know without us even saying them. Yeah, they're on DoorDash. San Francisco gets it. DoorDash has it.
This is your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort. To rock and to roll over the hills and bluffs. Go all out or go all in. With 4 stars and rising stars, now we do more than ever, so you can do as much or as little as you want. It's your time to cash in at Cash Creek Casino Resort.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, and much more. It's the ultimate convenience, easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrivals, and service right in your driveway. No waiting rooms and direct access to your mechanic with friendly and reliable service. No middleman or upsells. They're so sure you'll love the convenience. Take $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50. Kirby, your driveway mechanic.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
At Churches, we put it all on the table for less. Get 10-piece legs and thighs, 2 large size, 5 honey butter biscuits, and 5 jalapeno peppers starting at just $20. Churches Texas Chicken. Welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
They're longtime friends.
Let me tell you something real quick about Dibs that I'm sure not everybody knows.
And first-time partners.
Hang in there, big guy. There'll be brighter days ahead.
Now, these 2 homegrown Bay Area boys finally come together to take over sports talk.
Get the hell off of my doorstep.
Major League Baseball, you stink.
It's Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
I just can't think of anything like this. And so maybe that has a little something to do with how I feel today. Like it is week 1 of the National Football League schedule. I'm always excited about that. When are we not excited about that? I was joking with someone, and maybe it was even you last week, that like week 1 to week 9 is the quickest 9 weeks of our lives every single year, because it's just like we're so excited for football, and it being halfway over feels like a snap of the fingers because we're having too much fun and it's too good. But this year, it's turned up. I can't remember feeling this much anticipation about an NFL season in a long time.
Well, the Niners are always popular, but this storyline is the number one storyline in the entire league.
True.
Nope, nothing's bigger than Trey versus Jimmy, Jimmy versus Trey, the Niners. What's going to happen? It's the number one. If you said what's the number 2 sub storyline or subplot this year,
I don't even know.
It's hard to say. I mean, this is so far number one.
Yeah, people are tweeting about who the starting quarterback of the Steelers is. Even though it's kind of like, A, I feel like we already knew that. And B, how can Mitch Trubisky versus Kenny Pickett be a big story?
Right, exactly.
I don't, right? Like, this is a very, I hadn't thought of it the way you just put it in. Good morning, everybody. Larry Krueger's in for Dibs, Willard and Dibs. Glad you're with us. 888-957-9570. You can call. We're already watching and comment with each other on YouTube. What's going on there? Twitch, good morning. Comcast Business Text Line. Keep your comments coming. What is the number 2 story in the NFL right now?
Can the Rams repeat?
I mean, that's always a question.
Mariota versus Ritter. I don't know. Man, Tom Brady's mysterious vacation and what's a 45-year-old quarterback can actually look like on a contender?
Is it Lamar's contract? Is it whatever's going on with camp at Brady? Like, because to me, it has to have names. It has to have name value. And that's why the Steelers quarterback situation, sorry, that one falls flat.
Go Chargers!
Okay,
go.
I mean, yeah, like the AFC West at large, this is an epic on paper quarterback division.
Russell in Denver, maybe?
Sure, right? There's excitement about all of that. But yeah, Tom Brady's teeth, I don't know. I don't know. But I guess the larger point is the gap between the biggest story and the second one, it's large. It's very, very large. And yeah, the 49ers are it. And they kind of been it since they drafted this kid.
No doubt. No doubt. In fact, I was visiting with my kid last night who came back from his summer job. He's getting ready to go back to college. And we share a survivor pool entry. And we're struggling in week 1 trying to find somebody.
Don't take the 49ers.
No, I was
for multiple reasons.
I heard a couple people say Niners, and I'm like, no, what?
Don't do that.
I think that's risky.
And I'm not saying that because I think they're going to lose, because I don't. But there are just some rules of survivor pools that you would be violating in a major way by selecting the 4. First of all, try to avoid a road team at all costs in week 1.
Right.
Secondly, your quarterback's making his 3rd start. Third, I just gave you a weather report, rain, an equalizer. You're violating all of the survivor pool rules if you go with the 49ers this week.
Yeah. And also, you've got 2 young quarterbacks, so it's equally, you get randomness on both sides. So I'm leaning towards Titans at home in Nashville over the New York Giants.
They scare me though too.
But
I don't know what to expect.
This is
from
a
that
tough week for survivor pool.
Yeah, I haven't even really looked at it, and I'm in one, so maybe I just shouldn't be in one, because looking at week 1, I don't know. I mean, do you want to take Russell Wilson on the revenge game? But again, there's a road team on a primetime game, like home dogs on Monday night. That's a rule of the NFL. So no, I don't want to do that.
Eagles against the Lions, but then there's one ass cheek and 3 fingers on the other side.
Again, a road team, but how about Baltimore against the Jets? I feel like we could just follow the Jets this year. They're going to lose a lot of football games.
But Zach Wilson's going to go in that game.
He? I heard maybe. I know he's working out.
I expect him to go. My sources say he'll go.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even that's another road team.
Totally.
Right? And the Ravens are one of the most volatile teams year to year. It's like, what are they going to be? I'm not really 100% sure.
You're right.
What's Lamar going to be this year?
I want no part of this.
What are the Ravens going to be? To me, if there's a few teams that have this huge disparity, they could be great. They could win it all. They could miss the playoffs. To me, like the Rams and the Ravens are the 2 teams that I'm like, wow, I could picture them in the Super Bowl. I could picture both missing the playoffs.
Absolutely. But I think the list is even longer than that. As we know, we did that exercise last week of who are the 4 teams that weren't in the playoffs last year that will be this year. That also means 4 of the teams in last year won't be this year,
right?
By definition. And it's been 32 years in a row. So I'm going to buy into that and say that's definitely a thing. And I don't think we can do that. Don't look at the 14 playoff teams from last year and tell me which 4 are definitely going to be out, because we've penciled pretty much all of them in again. We're going to be wrong.
I know. That's why I'm so kind of heavy on the Rams missing the playoffs, because and I was talking to Steve Weish yesterday. I did an interview with Steve Weish. And Steve Weich's pick for the Super Bowl is the Rams.
Well, why not? I mean, I don't know. Preseason, there are conversations we fall into automatically that are also based on nothing. Your preseason Super Bowl pick. I apologize to anyone out there doing media or just having a bar conversation with a buddy. There's nothing in life I care about less than who your preseason Super Bowl pick is, because it leaves out all of the context that we know is about to unfold. What if Matt Stafford's hurt 48 hours from now?
Right.
Then what?
Well, think about when people asked you, like in past years, like maybe week 10, week 12, hey, Mark, who did you have winning the Super Bowl? You're like, oh, wait a second. Who did
I don't even know.
I think I went Indy.
Right.
I don't know. It's like, you totally forget. Once the game starts, you forget.
It doesn't matter. By the way, the Rams, your preseason Super Bowl pick, who are home at SoFi NFL headquarters, they're not even favorites in that game. They're underdogs in that game. So, I mean, that's the team that if everybody really wanted to look and go like, there's a team that I'm having a hard time poking a hole in, it's Buffalo, right?
Buffalo looks chalky.
Right. It feels chalky. So, yeah, it probably won't happen. But tell me what, outside of a Josh Allen injury, how can Buffalo not be a factor here in the end?
They didn't coordinator.
What's that?
They lost their offensive coordinator, Brian Dable, who oversaw the Josh Allen development and rise.
That's a great one. I was going to say they didn't really go after that veteran corner that a lot of people felt like they had to get. That was on their list of things to do this offseason. They didn't really get it. So, was that going to burn them? Last year they lost Tre'Davious White. What's his status? So, I mean, to me, that's one spot. But yeah, you're right. Buffalo is a very complete football team.
If you are going to look at your survivor pool and just go, okay, let's go to Vegas and find out who's the biggest favorite. Who is the big? Hold on.
Or what's the biggest? Do you look for the biggest favorite, Mark, or do you look for the most line movement? I've heard people say the best way to go with the survivor is look for where the line opened and where it is on game day, and go with the team who had the biggest line movement in their favor.
Do you kind of have the schedule at least partially memorized, or do you have it in front of you?
No.
Can you get it in front of you?
Yeah.
This weekend's NFL schedule. Spadone, game show music, please.
I have this week.
Game show music, please. This week's schedule. Do not look at spreads. There are 3 games right now that are all tied for being the biggest spread of the weekend. All 3 are tied.
It's got to be a small number,
3
right?
teams are exactly a touchdown favorite in their games. This is up to the minute numbers. Which 3 teams do you believe are the 3 touchdown favorite teams this weekend? Larry Krueger.
I don't know. Colts at Houston. Colts at Texans. Okay. Touchdown favorite. Wow. That is tough.
There's also a couple of 6.5s. There's a 6. So there's some candidates here that are wrong.
49ers.
That is correct. They've
Okay.
gone up from 6.5 to 7. So you are 2 for 2. There is one more.
Eagles against Lions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. Gosh, so close. The Eagles will be coming in as just a 4-point favorite against the Detroit Lions. We call that the Hard Knocks effect, because Dan Campbell is going to have some really weird stuff to say. It's going to fire everybody up, and they're going to do
buy
great.
your kneecap
They
off.
are. That's exactly what's going to happen.
We're going to take your other kneecap.
Well, and then they're going to give that kneecap to the Baltimore Ravens, because they are a 7-point favorite at the New York Jets. Jets.
All right.
There it is.
I like the Ravens much more at home than on the road.
Yeah, so all 3, to the point we were just making, all 3 of those favorites have at a touchdown, all on the road. They're
And
all
that
on the
still
road.
doesn't help the survivor.
No.
None of them seem like there's not a lock it up there's not a safe pick.
No. The biggest home favorite of the weekend belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 6.5-point favorite at home against the Pittsburgh Trubiskys.
Which
maybe that's your spot, but except for that's a traditional division slugfest.
Stay away from division games, right?
Stay away from division. By the way, at a certain point, we got too many survivor rules. I think the actual rule you get to is don't give them your money. But just don't sign up for this survivor pool. But anyway, Yeah, the Cincinnati thing, here's one thing that I keep ringing with Cincinnati. They are not as good as you think they are. Doesn't mean they're not good. I think Cincinnati's a strong team, but if you put them in the AFC, are they set apart from other teams? I don't really think so. I think we forget what Cincinnati was last year, a 10-7 football team, which means they're just barely a breath over 500. And then they get into the playoffs. And what did they do? Raiders have a 4th down right there to tie them on the final play of the game in week 1 of the playoffs. Week 2 of the playoffs, they go to overtime, get sacked 8 times, and get a turnover from Tannehill at the right time and win another playoff game. Then they go to Kansas City. They're down by 100 points at halftime, and then have the most epic half ever. And then they go to the Super Bowl. They show up well. They're right there. Like, don't get me wrong, they're good. This is a good team that can compete with anybody. But this idea that Cincinnati's showing up as dominant in that division, false, in my opinion.
Totally. And Super Bowl losers hang that.
Totally.
What's the stat on that? I mean, the Super Bowl losing team always struggles the next year.
Seems like
right?
it. Seems like it.
So that would be them. But they did
they're still
improve.
young.
They improved their O-line. They've got great weapons. The arrow's up on Burrow. I don't know about defensively, but Bates got signed, the free safety. He's there in camp. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what Seattle, since he's going to be.
I'm literally sitting here going, I think maybe I'm going to change I got to get in touch with my survivor pool guy and be like, I'm out. I can't even get through week 1. How are we going to go from here if we can't get through week 1?
Well, it's funny. The text line here, 415 says Russ will not lose to Seattle in his Denver debut.
Are you sure?
It's in Seattle.
Are you sure? I mean, they're literally the team that was like, I think we're done with this guy.
I think I would probably that will be on my short list.
I mean, you're going to go with a
road team.
I know, but home dog on Monday night is a thing.
Right.
It's literally a statistical thing through the years. Don't bet against a home dog on Monday night. I know that's just the spread, but do you want that week 1? You're freaking out as somebody lines up for a game-winning field goal with 2 seconds left to go.
I know.
That's what that feels like.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to do that.
That's going to be an emotional 1-score game, 1 turnover game. It's not gonna, that's going to be close.
I'm out. Is it raining in Seattle on Monday? I have no interest in going to Seattle for week 1 and picking a road team. That feels bananas. But anyway, to circle the whole thing back to the 49ers and the start of this year, the anticipation is through the roof. And my mind goes from all the conversations we've had over the last week, 2, if not 6 months. And my mind suddenly just barrels down on one thing, and that's Trey. The guy. Let's go inside the helmet for a second,
right?
At what this human is about to go face with Jimmy Garoppolo hanging over his right shoulder. And you can all tell us how kumbaya wonderful that is, but it's there and it's a thing and it's a bit heavy. And so that's on his right shoulder. Secondarily, he's 22. This will be his 3rd NFL start ever.
Youngest Niner quarterback
of all time.
Yeah, week 1 ever.
Coming out of, a small college environment, and all of us running around going, so this Jimmy factor is really heavy on your right shoulder, and so we could go to that if we need to, but also you could be the MVP. You're that amazing. And this offense is that ready. You've got a Super Bowl roster. Oh, and by the way, we've been to 2 of the last 3 NFC title games. And yeah, we'd like you to go ahead and do that again. Thanks. Okay. Have a good day. Holy hell.
There's a lot of pressure on the kid.
It's a lot. This is a lot.
Oh, it's a huge. I mean, the only thing I'll say, though, what are the people like Peter King who are saying he's going to be replaced in week 7? And I'm pointing at Peter King just because he's the best of them. There's many others who have said that Trey's going to wind up losing his job. What is that criticism? And I view that as criticism, obviously. What's that based on? What is that based on? Because we have 2 starts. He looked great, I thought, in the second half of the second start. Is it based on camp and camp stats and rumors and thoughts from camp? I mean, are we there? Because I'm looking at the numbers Trey Lance last year had a 97 quarterback rating in the two games.
In his 2.5 games.
He has a 116 QB rating in the preseason this year.
Look.
So what is it based on? That you say he's losing his job in week 7. He's got a 116 quarterback rating. What do you know that we don't know?
My only guess would be, was this some sort of a hot take segment? Was it you know how everyone does this? I just said a few minutes ago.
Or whatever.
Right, we all do this. We're leading what are your bold predictions? And then you've got to just make stuff up.
The Rams will miss the playoffs.
Right, but it's based on nothing. It's based on somebody getting hurt. I'm watching our guy Adam Rank. I was at Dave & Buster's yesterday, and I'm watching Rank on one of the big screens in there. They're doing Fantasy Live, and here comes bold predictions. And I think he said, give me one of these, was it Cole Kmet or one of these sort of middling tight ends? And he's like, this guy's going to outscore Travis Kelce. Well, you're predicting an injury, I guess.
No, if it was Cole Kmet, I think what he's looking at there is just the Bears have nothing.
Well,
no weapons at all.
And he's a Bears fan. I'm actually going on his Bears podcast at 5:00 later today.
Yeah, so he sees Cole Kmet catching double-digit touchdowns.
It might not have been Cole. I remember who it was. I'm just like, if you're predicting someone's going to outscore Travis Kelce this year, you're predicting an injury. And how can you predict that? Like, there's no... You can't be like, I believe that the ankle bone's going to go week 6. So I don't know where this is coming from. Did Peter go to practice and not like what he saw? Maybe. To the point you brought up, though, 2.5 games last year. Even if Trey struggles, you understand that doesn't mean statistical, terrible outcomes. Like, you're in the 49er offense with Kyle Shanahan as like Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, their numbers weren't terrible. They weren't good enough. They weren't great. The team didn't win. But I don't think there's any scenario where Trey just is like, oh, a guy throws 3 picks a game. Like, that's not – the offense isn't built that way. There's too much good stuff around this kid for it to look like that. I don't see that as possible.
Is it – but then what's it based on? Is it based on
no idea.
The reports coming out of camp that – people saying, well, in camp, he's completing 52% of his passes and he's thrown 12 interceptions and 7 touchdowns. It's like, is it because Twitter and that information is so easily, put out in the public that people just start to fall for that? Because we're talking about camp and anything camp stats. I mean, don't get me going, but camp stats don't mean a whole lot.
Camp stats don't mean anything. I think you say a lot of things though that sound like camp matters. I mean, you see things that matter to you, maybe not the numbers. You see something physically in guys that you think matters.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they did too.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
I think Brock Purdy looked great in camp, and that matters to me. But as far as like completion percentage and picks and that kind of thing, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy threw a bunch of picks in camp too. He went to the NFC Championship game, had a lot of success. I mean, it's just it makes me wonder if just because Trey went to North Dakota State, just because maybe Trey, is there's been so much dialogue about the transition. Jimmy has a lot of fans. There's a lot of he's getting built up a lot of goodwill with fans and the media. Maybe some of these are factors. Maybe people are whispering to Peter King, hey, you know what? This kid doesn't look that good. I don't know. But it does seem weird that a guy who's driving this level of a car and has this kind of talent and has played this well in brief spurts, he's going to lose his gig by week 7.
In less than 10 minutes, Albert Breer had a report over the weekend that Trey was annoyed when the 49ers re-signed Jimmy. You had Albert Breer on with you and Lowe yesterday to talk that out. I want to make sure everybody hears those comments, so we'll have that at 10. Your phone calls coming up at 10. A lot of 49ers stuff coming up next hour. Steven Ruiz from The Ringer has his quarterback rankings out. He's got Jimmy ahead of Trey. We're going to have him jump in a little bit. So we're going to get to all that. But also coming out of the weekend, though, I got a 90-second thing that I got to get off my chest. And you and I didn't get to do this last week, so let's do it. Give me a little, what are you doing?
Willard and Tibbs have a lot to say.
My only weapon was my mouth.
But they just have one big question.
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, college football players, what are you doing? Like, do any of you, we have gotten mad at the San Francisco Giants for their lack of situational ability all year long, right?
Right.
Okay, college football players. Do you know how many coaches would have been fired after 1 week if their NFL players went out and did what their college players did this week? How many games need to come down to the last 30 seconds? First of all, Appalachian State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter and lost. What are you doing? Like, how is that even possible? Do you have a defensive coordinator? Did you see Utah?
I bet Florida.
My man, Cam Rising.
barely got out of there.
If you're going to be an NFL quarterback someday, there is a rule. There is a rule. There is a rule. If you have got, just for those of you who didn't see it, Utah's down 3. They're only down 3 because they'd already fumbled at the goal line once. But you're down 3, and you got 3 shots at the end zone. But there's enough time on the clock that if you don't get the touchdown, you kick the field goal and you go to overtime.
Right.
So there's one thing. Literally, it's like when you send the dang spouse to the grocery store and asked you to get toilet paper and you came back with potato chips. I asked you to do one thing. Don't throw a pick. Do not throw a ball that a Florida player can catch. That's it. One job.
Couldn't do it. And he played great that game, too.
Oh.
Rising looked terrific.
Yeah, he did.
He really was good.
But it's like, and that's just the example du jour of there were 7 of these games where I'm like, you guys, like, can you just one thing that you can't do right here? And it just was over and over and over. I'm like, I need to change my preseason take. These guys do need a preseason because they're all doing it right now in front of our eyes, but these games count.
Some of these guys are actual, last year where they were in high school, a true freshman.
True. That's true.
So that's playing on the road in Gainesville as a top 10 team, favored on the road to beat the Gators. It's a tough spot. That was a great football game.
They were the better team, though, and they lost. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, here's what we're doing. Albert Breer, his answers to you and Lowe yesterday. Trey annoyed by Jimmy's signing. We'll let you hear that. Coming up next, Krug's in for Dibs. Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game.
T-Mobile believes customers deserve to get more without paying more. Everything from entertainment benefits like Netflix.
Herschel Walker's accused of choking his wife until she passed out. He held a razor to her throat and repeatedly threatened to shoot her in the head.
He held a gun to my temple and said he was going to blow my brains out.
On us, to travel benefits, to scam shield protection, all with taxes and fees included. So the price you see is the price you pay. When you're a T-Mobile customer, you get over $225 in value every month in benefits with our Max Family Plan.
That's like paying for nosebleed seats and getting to sit in the front row.
That's right. At T-Mobile, your family gets over $225 worth of value and benefits with our Max Plan each and every month. Plus, with our Price Lock Guarantee, we won't raise your rate plan price for talk, text, and data ever.
That's like paying for a cab and getting a stretch limo.
At T-Mobile, you get value beyond the expected.
Qualifying service required. Value based on included monthly benefits. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in Max's monthly price. Price Lock guarantees great price of talk, text, and data for new accounts with qualifying service. Exclusions apply. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Bart is turning 50 and we'd love to celebrate with you. Get 50% off your ride in honor of Bart's 50 years of service to the Bay Area when you pay with Clipper. That's 50% off Clipper Bart fares for the entire month of September. Add Clipper to your digital wallet for free. If you're eligible for other Clipper discounts like youth or senior fares, you get to take an additional 50% off those too. Details at bart.gov/50 years. That's bart.gov/50 years. Celebrate Bart's 50 years of service with us this September. Let's go.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Odyssey knows that football fans can't get enough football. That's why we've got nonstop football coverage on the free Odyssey app. Podcasts and live shows dedicated to every pro team. NFL play-by-play and enough game talk for the most diehard fans. Local radio stations talking football, interviews with star players and coaches, and football fans being fans.
What kind of play calling was that?
Listen to everything you love about football, live and on demand with the free Odyssey app. Get in the game and download today.
I did a site visit, and the space is absolutely incredible.
Este's Reiki Clinic is opening another studio across town.
But there's a lot to wrap up.
But staffing an entire office requires more than just deep breathing.
Receptionist and at least 4 new practitioners.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC FM at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Sponsored by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises. We're going to let you hear from Albert Breer in just a second. He reported over the weekend that Trey was, quote, annoyed when the 49ers signed Jimmy. And I mean, look, after all the conversation you and I have had over this, like my response to that is, well, of course.
Good.
Right. Like, yeah, fine.
To me, that's preferred.
It's not a problem, but I do think that it's just funny how many people sort of fell into the kumbaya of the whole thing, which is if your first opinion was, I'm glad they have Jimmy as a backup. This loads them up, protects them from injury throughout the year. Okay, that's opinion one. And then they have the press conference last week, and you just like eat it all up like a bowl of cereal and then come out and go, see, they love it. Oh gosh, you believed them? Like, they are the two most polished media quarterbacks I think I've ever seen.
Especially Trey for 22.
Totally. So, like, they get it. They took 48 hours. They sat down almost like they're watching film. They know exactly what to say, and then they delivered it. But let's not act like they're not people. Like, Jimmy's got a future and an opinion, and so does Trey. And this is not what it was. So, like, it's not a problem, but just there needs to be, I think, a little cynicism with how we view what has just unfolded. And so it's not surprising to me that was the way it was, but I'm interested to hear what Albert Breer told you.
Yeah. And also, Jimmy had what Jimmy said at the presser last week, you tend to believe because he had a hand in it. Right. Trey, on the other hand, wasn't part of the decision-making process, even though they discussed it with him. So, you know what? It made sense that Trey would not be thrilled by it. But, I'll say this. Our producer on the weekend, Chris, I told him, I said, hey, Albert Breer said this about Lance and Garoppolo. What do you think? Literally 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, we got Albert Breer. Chris, coming up this weekend was awesome.
Shout out. And now we've got these comments, and this is what Albert said about the, quote, immediate aftermath of the news that Jimmy was staying and Trey's reaction.
From what I understand, Trey Lance's, reaction, I think was pretty natural. I think it's complicated news for him to take. And one of the reasons I use the word immediate aftermath is because I think in the immediate aftermath, you're probably processing a lot of things. When the idea that comes up, I think what was most important about it, and this is my feeling on it, what was most important about it was that the Niners were upfront with their guys about it, right? And so, after discussing it with Jimmy, the idea of it, the concept of it with Jimmy, and making it clear to Jimmy, if we do this, Trey's going to be our starter. And then discussing it with Trey, and then going to the leadership council and informing them of what they're going to do. They felt comfortable moving forward with it.
Okay, so this is kind of where I hear a lot of people going, even though your starting point might be different, your finishing point is the same. For instance, you think, great, Niners have a high-level backup. And I thought, boy, this tells me that the 49ers don't see Trey as exactly where maybe they hoped he'd be. But I do think we end up in the same spot, which is that if there is a team that can handle this, I think it's the 49ers. I do not believe that every franchise and every locker room would be able to handle this. I do think this group can. It's a little dependent on how things play out, but I do think this group can.
You need a certain, the job description demands a certain thing. So a certain level of competitiveness. So I remember doing an interview when I was first getting into radio where I came across really cocky, and the guy's like, hey, you know what? You're incredibly cocky, but you know what? I like that because you need to be cocky to make it in this business. Right. And I'm like, good. I guess I chose the right game plan. But I think Trey, it's the same thing. I mean, you got to be super competitive, and you got to have that belief, that undying belief that you can get it done. So if you have that, this news is not going to be greeted warmly. If you're Trey Lance, I love that. I'd be more upset if Trey was like, yeah, Trey was totally fine with it, and he's really thrilled with it. I like the fact that he was annoyed. He should be annoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Albert's next comment kind of takes us in that direction where this is difficult, but in the end, it's simply about whether or not this group can handle it.
Do I think it was easy news for Trey Lance to take? No, I don't think it was easy news for Trey Lance to take. I think it's, something, if you're him, you ask a lot of questions about, but, I think in the end, because the Niners did get in front of it and were pretty clear in communicating to all the guys what the plan was here, I think they'll wind up being fine in the long run.
Okay, so that is, I think, the area where we all sort of land on common ground. And then outside of that, you throw a feather in the wind and see which way it blows. And that's I think we all need to acknowledge, which is that there are scenarios that could play out that make this difficult. And then there are scenarios that play out where this is no big deal at all. And some of those things are going to be out of their control. If Trey Lance were to get hurt at some point, having Jimmy there, boom, pat on the back, great job, organization. But if the team is 500 and you're 4-4, a lot of turnovers, quarterback not quite performing, but he's not like awful. And then it's like, Jimmy, should we? That's what you don't want. And that might happen. That is out of the 49ers' control.
I think one of the things that didn't get enough attention that I think deserves some attention is that Shanahan and Lynch decided to make this call, but then before they announced it to the team, they, convened their group of, I think, 13 veterans and talked to them about it. And I guarantee you, part of that dialogue is, guys, we have to have a unified front. You want to communicate about the quarterback, communicate to me, communicate to Kyle, communicate to the coaching staff, communicate to one another. Don't communicate that in social media or publicly. Because, what Niner has? None of them. Not one 49er has said anything about this, publicly. And I think that's not just like happenstance. I think that's by design and probably communicated from above.
Let's go out to you at 888-957-9570. Jonathan in San Francisco. You're on with Willard and Krueger. 95.7 The Game. Jonathan, what are you doing?
Hey, I'm on Skyline, just driving to the lab. I need to get a blood test for the yearly checkup.
Well, good luck with you. Good luck with you with that.
Thanks. I just want to say, man, happy new NFL year. Excited just like everybody else. Thinking about what's going to happen. I don't really care, man. Trey or Jimmy. I just need a quarterback that could get the job done because this roster is stacked, man. This roster cannot wait for somebody to develop. Meaning Trey Lance, if, because of his inaccuracies, if it happens enough that, they're facing a 3rd and 2 and Kyle keeps it open, Juszczyk's wide open in the flat and Trey delivers that ball to the ground, that happens enough and they find themselves, like 2 games below 500 by the time they meet the Rams for the second time. I think they're going to start Jimmy because, like I said, this roster is stacked, man. It's almost criminal for them to ask this roster to wait for Trey Lance to develop. This roster needs to be in the hunt. That Saturday. Go Niners.
Yeah. Jonathan, I think it's a fair point, and it's sort of fundamental to the entire situation that the 49ers are in. Like, this is a now team. This is a now team, and so we've set up a scenario where there cannot be a whole lot of patience for anything. And so that's why we sort of started today the way we did, which is that, like, I don't think any quarterback has ever faced this kind of a situation. And I'm going to have that on my mind when we watch Trey Lance go out there and play. Nobody has been handed this situation, this kind of pressure, this kind of wide range of opinions. We think you're going to be the second coming. We think you're going to be benched in 2 weeks. I've never seen a quarterback walk into that environment. But the other side to it is what Jonathan just said. This team has been on the doorstep of a championship for 3 years. They have an unbelievable roster. You could make the case that this is the best roster of the last 4 years. So there isn't going to be any time to wait around for anybody to get on the bus. You get on the bus or the bus is leaving.
Yeah. Now, here's the other thing. We talk about these two guys like they're going to be dramatically different. What if, they're two different guys at two different stages of their career, but what if kind of you measure the whole thing and it all comes out relatively equal? You know what I mean? Like, Trey maybe misses some passes and doesn't see some things that Jimmy would have saw, but maybe he makes a few plays that Jimmy wouldn't make. Maybe Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I don't know that I think Trey long-term is going to be way better than what Jimmy has been. But short-term, if you tried to tell me that they're kind of comparable,
I believe that.
I think in the short term, they probably are kind of comparable.
Actually, I'd take that.
You take comparable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If you can get that from Trey starting at start 3 at age 22, I mean, to Jonathan's point, like, this offense is very much based on that 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. And can you squeeze it to George Kittle on time over the middle and move the chains? Like, that's not stuff we talk about, but that's so important to the success of a football team. And it's actually Jimmy's strength. Jimmy, on time, over the middle, boop, move the chains. He's very, very good at that. If Trey can be good at that and then add in the athleticism and the escapability and all of the things that he has that Jimmy doesn't, I think this is going to go really, really well.
Lowe made a great point. He said the one thing that he would be looking for is he thinks that it's a bad omen if you start, making a lot of maneuvers with your quarterbacks early in the year, so that he thinks that maybe they'll stay. If they start with Trey, obviously they're going to stay with Trey for a considerable amount of time. He says you don't want to be pulling guys and back and forth and have that kind of chaotic feel. So I get the sense that he's right on that.
What if I told you there was a guy sitting next to you and he thought that Tua and Baker and Mariota and Mac Jones and Jameis Winston and Ryan Tannehill and Kirk Cousins and Trevor Lawrence were all better than your quarterback? What would you say to that, gentleman?
I would say, any thought on my quarterback is speculative because my quarterback has 2 starts. So I'm not getting blown out of the water. I don't like your breakdown. I don't agree with your breakdown, but I'm not going to push back too hard because my guy's got 2 starts.
Oh, wait, let me add. I forgot one name. Geno Smith.
Now we're fighting.
He thinks is better than your quarterback.
Now we're fighting in the hallway.
All right, good. Then Kyle, get him on the line. His name is Steven Ruiz, and he is with The Ringer. And let me just give you, before he hops on here, a little bit of the arc of the history of this quarterback list, which is always out there. But it's an ever-moving, breathing thing. So once the starters were all named for the NFL teams, then the list recalibrates. In other words, it came out about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and Jimmy Garoppolo was ranked 23rd, 2 slots ahead of Trey Lance. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is not even on the list. Why? Because he is no longer competing to be a starting quarterback for week 1 in this NFL season. He's not on the list at all. But Trey Lance at number 24, right behind Tua, Geno, Jalen Hurts, Baker, Mariota, Mac Jones, Jameis Winston, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence. Those quarterbacks are all more equipped to go into week 1 as starting quarterbacks than Trey Lance, according to Steven Ruiz of The Ringer, who joins us right now. Steven, any issues with the way I just laid that out, or is that pretty accurate?
No, that's definitely accurate. We did set up the rankings to be updated every week, so I refrain from doing too much projection. And I do think Lance is a quarterback that will be a big riser throughout the season. I have that much faith in the coaching staff and his talent.
So I guess maybe some further explanation might be needed even in this moment, like Geno Smith being ahead of Trey Lance. Are we talking just experience? Because I would think that even just a skill set and the team around him would suggest that you're going to get more out of Trey Lance than Geno Smith pretty quickly, no?
I kind of disagree. I'm admittedly higher on Geno than most. I think he's gotten a raw deal throughout his NFL career. But the reason why I would take him over over Lance right now is that I think he's a more accurate quarterback. I think you could run a more traditional offense, I'd say, with him, and you can have confidence in him reading out the concepts as they're drawn up in the playbook. I do think that's one of the reasons why he's so underrated is people don't realize how good he is in the pocket. I think he's confident in the pocket. Like, he'll hang in the pocket and give his receivers a chance to get open downfield. And then I think he can make the layup throws more consistently than Lance. That's the one thing I wanted to see out of his film last year, and we didn't really see it. Now, I think there's a good chance that we do see it on this year's film. And if that's the case, he's going to shoot right up these rankings by like October.
Are you related in any way to Geno Smith? No, I'm looking at your list, and I'll give you most of these quarterbacks in front of Lance, but the ones I won't give you is Tua, Geno, Mariota, Winston, and Tannehill, and Lawrence for that matter. So those are the ones. If I had this list, I'd probably have Trey at 18. But what exactly goes into the criterion that got to these, to the conclusion that you've arrived at?
in regard to Trey Lance, I would say his ability to make the throws. I think that's one of the most important abilities an NFL quarterback can possess. And one thing you could say about his film last year, and again, this is based on his film last year, it's not based on a projection of what he could be. I think he had a problem making the throws. Like he didn't have much of a problem getting through the process and finding the right receivers, but when it came time to make throws, and sometimes it was easy throws, he sailed them a lot. He just missed them. I think accuracy is the biggest concern with him going forward. But again, if he figures that out and he can hit the layups, then the sky's the limit.
Steven Ruiz, the ringer and the quarterback list, is with us here on 95.7 The Game. I actually do have some non-Trey Lance related questions, even though we probably have more there too. But I just, like, I think there are some things that on the surface would surprise people right away. You have Josh Allen at 5. How's he not higher?
Who should he be higher than? That's my question. Now, like, I do think the formula I came up with kind of underrates him because he is a unique quarterback in that his accuracy isn't the best. I think it's improved a lot. It's better than Lance's, obviously. And I do think his decision-making is kind of spotty, but just all that physical talent makes up for it. But I do think week to week consistently, it's hard to rely on him. Like we saw last year, a couple stinkers he had. They lost to the Jaguars, and it was one of the worst performances that a quarterback had last year. And I think that counts for something. Consistency accounts for something. And I do think the perception of what Josh Allen's season was last year is based on that Chiefs game and the Patriots game in the playoffs. But he had a lower yards per attempt than Carson Wentz. I mean, that matters for something.
You had Rodgers at the top of the list and, back-to-back MVPs. It's funny. People said that he played horribly in the playoff game against the 49ers. You take away a couple drops in that game in 1 degree, and I think he completed almost 80% of his passes against a very good Niner defense. How much pushback did you get since Rodgers has kind of universally been, taken out back and beaten up for his whole COVID stance? How much blowback did you get putting A-Rod number 1?
It's still early, but I'm hearing some pushback from like Chiefs fans, which is understandable. If I was a Patrick Mahomes fan, I would argue for him being the best quarterback in the league, but not too much. I think people realize what Rodgers has become for that offense. He's just the focal point of it. And really, like, you look at the top of the league, and I think the NFL is so interesting right now because the top quarterbacks are like good in their very unique ways. Like the way Tom Brady succeeds is way different from the way like Mahomes, Rodgers, or Allen succeed. And I would say that Rodgers kind of steals a bit from everyone's game. Like he can do the mobility thing. He can do like the trick shot throws like Patrick Mahomes. He does like the no-look throws like Matt Stafford. He's the smart pre-snap quarterback like Tom Brady. So like if you're looking for a quarterback with just a complete skill set, I don't know how you can argue against Aaron Rodgers.
Stephen, the fantasy community would spit up their oatmeal to hear you put Jalen Hurts 5 slots behind Ryan Tannehill. What's going on there?
Well, my goal is to make the fantasy community throw up.
Yeah,
I consider that a compliment. But no, I think he has a long ways to go before we can say that he's a good quarterback. But what I can say right now is he's not a bad quarterback. He's useful, and he's useful because of the reasons that he's so valuable in fantasy. Because he's the heart of that run game, and you're going to get a good run game if you have him behind center. The question with him is, can he start to make the scheme throws, like the throws that Jimmy Garoppolo used to make off play action, the crossers? If he can make those throws, I think he can start for a long time in this league. If he remains the same player, I think he's the type of quarterback you want on a rookie deal. But once you get past that and you have to pay him, you might want to move on.
The 2 guys that I thought should have been way higher on this list were 2 guys in their second year, Davis Mills and Zach Wilson. Mills had a high completion percentage, and without a great surrounding cast, I thought played as well as almost any rookie quarterback I saw last year. And Zach Wilson, I think almost you got to throw out that first part of the year and look what he was after the injury, and still behind, terrible line, no receivers. He looked pretty good down the stretch. I thought he's way too low there. I think he's going to ascend on this list.
Like for Davis Mills, I honestly don't understand the hype. I think I know what it's based on. It's based on there was an expectation for him, and he exceeded that playing on a bad team. But when you watch the film, like that completion percentage is I think it misrepresents what he is. He had the highest rate of failed completions in the league. That means like I'm throwing a completion for 3 yards on 3rd and 10. like that goes down as a completion. Your completion percentage gets a boost, but does it help the team win games? No, it does not. And for my money, he's one of the most conservative quarterbacks in the league. He'll bail out of clean pockets. He'll throw an early check down, even if he has a guy open downfield. And I have like personal taste in quarterbacks, and I will admit that these rankings are very subjective and based on that. And he's just not my type of quarterback. He's not a playmaker. And I don't think he's a prototypical pocket passer either. I'm not high on his future, and I'm like very confident saying that. As for Zach Wilson, I just want to see him make one play in structure. Even like his good stretch down, like in December, all of his big plays came outside of the pocket. And until he can prove that he can make plays, explosive plays within the pocket, I don't think you can be confident in him going forward.
Steven Ruiz, NFL writer, The Ringer, quarterback list. All right, this weekend, Soldier Field. We haven't mentioned Justin Fields, who you've got 4 slots below Trey Lance. This, in many ways, a fun mano-a-mano matchup from last year's draft. Give everybody sort of a preview of what you've seen on tape with these two quarterbacks and what each team is hoping that they'll do once the season starts.
I think that Trey Lance is what people thought Justin Fields would be, just based on seeing him at Ohio State. No one was watching North Dakota State games. I don't think they were really like familiar with Trey Lance's game.
Right.
But like Trey Lance does like all the smart QB things. Like he ran a pro style offense. I think he's sharp before the snap. I think he knows how to work the pocket and he's willing to stay in it. Whereas Justin Fields, like I like Justin Fields' film coming out of Ohio State, and I really want him to succeed. And I think the league will be better if he does. But you just watch his film, and it's just like time after time he just makes the wrong decision. And like every now and then he'll make a good decision and make like a fantastic throw, and you're like, and it like kind of reels you back in. But then like 95% of his throws, it's just there was a better play to make and you didn't make it. And that's why it's like hard for me to project that going forward. I want to see it first. Like Trey Lance, you kind of see it. He just didn't have the accuracy last year. But with Fields, it wasn't just accuracy. It was the decisions that really concern you.
Steven, really interesting stuff, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for hopping on today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, Steven Ruiz, The Ringer, with the quarterback list. And you sort of end with something that, at least in the moment, feels a little bit better, which is Justin Fields has a bad offensive line and he's going to make a bunch of bad decisions. I'm there for that this week. That sounds great. I would love to see a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, can you guarantee that in week one? And, Justin Fields played, I thought, pretty well against the Niners. I mean, he had the big run in the game last year.
Might have been his best game.
He had that beautiful pass in the end zone to the tight end where he just led him perfectly and put it on the hands. So we'll see. We'll see. His number one receiver says he's all about knocking off the Niners for passing on him in the draft. We'll see what he looks like Sunday.
We'll let you hear that. You're talking about Darnell Mooney, and we'll have that coming up for you in just a little bit. It is all sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. So much more of your phone calls at 888-957-9570. Matty Barrows is coming up at 11 o'clock as well.
Nice.
So, we'll dive further into the 49ers situation. We do have a few Giants things for you as well. Carlos Rodon, we got exclusive audio over the weekend with regard to him talking about his potential free agent future. And Farhan Zaidi went on MLB Network Radio and triggered you.
Yes. And I let him have it.
Boy, yeah, he is bruised.
Yeah.
He needs to take a couple days off after what you did to him following his appearance. So we've got all of that coming up next. Stay where you are on Twitch and YouTube as well. Again, isn't Larry handsome? He's wearing one of his own T-shirts. You're wearing your own name on your chest.
You like that?
It's a little narcissistic for my taste, but other than that, I get it and it's okay.
My 13-year-old said, Dad, you're going big time. You got merch.
Yeah.
You got merch.
You got like a David Hasselhoff thing. Like you look like Hasselhoff in a Baywatch jacket.
Oh, thank you.
Right now. It wasn't a compliment. No. All right. Here we go. Willard and Krueger, 95.7 the game.
All the noise.
How many other teams in the NFL? 31 teams?
Mm-hmm.
not one other team cares that they don't have Jimmy Garoppolo.
All the drama. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo. None of it matters come Sunday.
Here goes the rookie around the left side, and then he goes for the touchdown. Man,
Breaks a tackle and Mitchell all the way for the touchdown.
Niners, Bears. This is the Bay Area's sports station. 95.7 The Game.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
Everyone knows how beneficial therapy can be, but traditional therapy can be overwhelming, confusing, and inconvenient. When scheduling in-person therapy, it can be difficult to find the right therapist near you, and it can take weeks to get on their calendar. We knew there had to be a better way, and that's where BetterHelp began. I'm Danny, co-founder of BetterHelp Online Therapy. When Alana and I started BetterHelp in 2013, our mission was simple: find a way to make professional therapy accessible, affordable, and convenient for everyone. BetterHelp works around your schedule and lifestyle. You can connect to a therapist by phone, video call, or even text message. You don't even have to turn on your camera if you don't feel comfortable. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, you can switch anytime with the click of a button because BetterHelp is designed with you in mind. See why over 2 million members have trusted BetterHelp for online therapy. Go to betterhelp.com/youfirst and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/youfirst for 10% off your first month.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice when your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint? At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
Do you have neuropathy? Are you experiencing numbness, tingling, and pain that just won't stop? Are you taking dangerous drugs that have serious side effects and never fix the pain? If so, please listen to this message. Neuropathy is a serious, progressive condition that only gets worse if not treated properly. Call SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE to get back to doing the things you want to do. There is no drug, exercise, or surgery that can heal nerves. Don't wait until your condition gets worse and stops you from living your life fully. SF Bay Wellness has a time-tested, proven track record of helping hundreds of patients to improve and reverse their neuropathy. If you're ready to regain your independence, contact SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE. Call now for your $99 neuropathy special and receive a personal treatment plan that is tailored to your needs. Call 844-94-NERVE. That's 844-94-NERVE and start to enjoy life again.
The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving Northern California golfers for over 30 years.
Neuropathy pain? Call Dr. Robert Dees, DC, 925-393-0100.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
And some Frank's Red Hot.
Nah.
You're just going to eat these boring nachos with no flavor. Frank it up! Frank it up! This guy finally gets it.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Now, back to
Will and Dibby
on 95.7 The Game.
Okay, Krug's in for Dibs. Willard and Dibs. Week 1, NFL season. Let's do it, right? Here we go. So a lot of you are waiting to talk Jimmy and Trey. We'll do that. Matty Barrows at 11. I want to throw this at you real quick, though, because some people are on the line that want to talk Giants also. Just real quick, check this out. This is fun.
What do you got?
Fan-sided New York Mets site. This just got sent to me by my very good friend. Get the drop ready. Get the drip drop ready here, Spitta. My very good friend, Lauren Gold, who is the keyboardist for both The Who and Chicago. He is one of the great, great Giants fans in our city, in our area.
Right.
And he just sent this to me. Here's the headline. Mets Monday morning GM. The ineffective Darren Ruff trade. The Mets don't like that one so much, do they? So, tail of the tape, for those of you who, and this is not going to fix all of your Farhan woes if you're mad at him, but if you just want to look at this one in a vacuum, Darren Ruff, the whole article, I actually hate this because Darren's an awesome guy.
He's had a rough year.
I see what you did there. But literally the article, the moment the Mets acquired Daniel Vogelbach from the Pirates, it was the same time that Billy Eppler had to decide who would be his right-handed platoon mate. J.D. Davis was a natural fit for the job. However, his own struggles with the Mets made him expendable in the eyes of the front offices. So off they go to get Darren Ruff, who has 7 hits since arriving in New York, has pitched as many innings as he's played anywhere else in the field, and his total slash line, 167, 213, 238. Okay, that means that the OPS is lower than 500. It has been terrible. Now, meantime, you've watched what J.D. Davis has done for the Giants.
He looks great. He's been deep last night.
He's been one of the home runs last night. He's been very good.
He's a keeper.
But remember, the Giants also got 3 minor leaguers in that deal.
Which we've seen one. Zapucki.
One of them is Zapucki. I'll pass. But anyway, it's
a lefty.
Yeah, whatever. Like we'll see where that goes. Carson Seymour is one of the other pitchers that was acquired by the Giants. Here's his line the other night in Eugene. I know it's Eugene, but that's where he is in his career. Young pitcher, 6 1/3, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. Okay? Like early returns, and 3 of the 4 are minor leaguers. You just said, heck, you'd do it straight up for J.D. Davis.
Absolutely.
But they got a haul of minor league pitching too, that at least with this kid, Carson Seymour, off to a very good start. That might have been a wonderful trade at the deadline that was made by Farhan Zaidi.
Absolutely.
And Scott Harris, by the way.
And not to mention Lewis Brinson for cash. He had 2 bombs last night, and Lewis Brinson for cash looks like a pretty nice little move as well.
So far, yeah.
So, I mean, Darren Ruff that's such a giant thing to do. They get him last year. They get this great year out of him and a limited at-bats. He really produced. And so what do they do this year? Oh, you know what? We'll play him every day, and we'll hit him, third or fourth. And what did he do? He hit 177 in April, 224 in June, 214 in July, 175 he's hitting now in the month of August. And obviously September he's 0 for 6 to begin the month. So I don't know.
At least if they were wrong the first time, at least they turned him into something.
Yeah, they made a nice little pivot to get out from underneath the Darren Ruff experience.
What was it that Farhan said now? MLB Network Radio, he basically said, look, all options are on the table, including being a free agent buyer at the very, very top of the market this offseason. That's all on the table. And then you went and got all upset and went to social media.
Well, I just said, hey, look, the Giants GM that cries wolf needs to shut his mouth and do something. And at this point, Farhan, I said, is all hat and no cattle. Talk is cheap. He talked about Trevor Story. He talked about Seiya Suzuki. He talked about Juan Soto. And then he delivered, Stewie Fairchild and Padlo and Papirski. And, so I'm like, Farhan can talk it, but can he walk it? And I said, doubtful. My whole thing is Farhan's obviously such a smart guy, but he's obviously never done sales in his life, because anybody driving around right now listening to us who does sales knows that the absolutely most important thing is the perception from the person who's buying, and you want to underpromise and overdeliver and not the opposite. And Farhan, on 3 instances now, in this interview, before the break, and before the opening day, has put ideas into the fan base's head that he's shooting for bigger names and then delivered nothing. And that's a part of the, why there's been a lot more negativity directed towards Farhan, because you got us hot and bothered talking Soto and Story and Suzuki, and here comes a Papirski and a bunch of no-name guys.
Papirski can be delicious with the right side dish. But
I like hot sauce on mine.
I'm going to buy what you're selling right now. If you are a salesperson, you're absolutely right. First of all, under promise and over deliver is fundamental to anything you're doing in life.
Right.
Like, period. It is fundamental to anything you're doing in life. So that I'm totally buying. And yes, I guess of the 2 years that we talk about the last year, last year was a complete under promise, over deliver. And this year was the opposite. So I didn't get upset by the interview, because I'm never going to be anti-interview, number one. And number two, you're not allowed to go sign into one in September. So all you can do is say it now. And a piece of me likes that he's saying it, because he is pinning the Giants into a corner. And I think he knows, as well as we all know, it's put up or shut up winter. You cannot.
It's go time.
You cannot say this again and then go give more platoon guys from the Mariners system. You can't do it. So I get what you're saying, which is, dude, you're walking a very dangerous line here. But my response is going to be good. In a way, they're only fanning the flames on themselves. They're putting more pressure on themselves.
But why would he do it? Because you know him.
I get it.
Know him. He's a very bright,
incredibly smart guy. Yeah.
So you know,
maybe he's got confidence
to understand that perception and reality, and creating an impression or an expectation and then not fulfilling that expectation. He's got to know that Giants fans, when they heard Trevor Story, were expecting a Trevor Story-like player, and here comes Padlo, and here comes Dixon Machado, and all these relative no-names. So why would a guy that smart the third time we'll see, but at least the first 2 times, at the break and before the year, why would he talk up big names and deliver some, minor league names?
Fair question, because
he seems way too smart.
Well, we talk about the Trey and Jimmy thing, and how there are certain things now this season that are going to be out of the 49ers' control. Same thing here. Again, free agency takes 2 to tango. So I get this if you're saying, oh, we're going to this and we're going to that.
Shanahan's not sitting here going, Trey's going to the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Trey's going to be an all-pro.
Well,
Trey's going to make all you guys forget Jimmy ever existed.
That'd be amazing if you said that.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
No, I get it, because you've got to go get someone to say yes. You can have the best intentions. Now, I still believe if you're the highest bidder, you're going to win. So maybe they do have control. But if they're the highest bidder for Aaron Judge and he's like, I don't know, you see that porch in right field in New York? I don't know. I guess I'm going to stay. Then yeah, you show up to the party with no date and you're in trouble. So I hear you. Because it does feel like they're making a promise where they're only half of the equation. So it's like it's like promising that your date is going to show up for the party. It's like, and also you can think that, but you're not the one driving the car.
And these things are put out into the public. Guess who also lives in the public? The agents. So you know, if I'm an agent and you come knocking on my door, I'm Aaron Judge's agent. I'm having my interns, hey, go dig up those Farhan quotes. Hey, Farhan, you told your fan base 3 weeks ago that you're going to be shopping in the superstar aisle. I got a superstar, so guess what? My price just went up because now I know you need him.
Except I don't even really worry about it. I don't care what the price is. Why should we? They have so much money to spend and they better.
Yeah.
In fact, and they better. So I don't like if you need to overpay to land the guy you want to land, that's the position you've done a good job of putting yourself in.
Yeah.
Like that's what you did. You worked your butt off for financial flexibility. Now flex your flexibility. That's where we're at. Speaking of Aaron Judge, let's go to New York right now. Richard in Queens wants to talk Aaron Judge and the Giants. Richard, you're on with Mark and Larry. What are you doing, Richard?
Hey, guys. You know, it's good. I just randomly said, let me talk to Cisco. I'm a lifelong New York San Francisco Giants fan. When they left in 56, I was 10 years old. I stayed with them forever. Never ever thinking we'd win. We won, obviously, from 2010, so it took me 54 years. And it's been a great organization. I just listened to your recap there. I'm really disappointed, too, because when they traded Ruff, I didn't understand what they were saying because I see Davis every day. And I said, and I've watched, I get the MLB package and I watch Ruff. He's totally not even close to what he was last year. And the Giants have so many players, it drives me crazy because they're all good bench players. But when you got Wilmer, who I love, and I thought he'd be the guy to come to New York because that would be a perfect scenario to get Wilmer back. And I love Wilmer. But you know, the thing with Judge, you know, I hear it all the time. I call WFAN quite a bit. And you know what I mean with it? I just don't understand how we'd want to go there. You know, Crawford, I love them, you know, our core three, Crawford, Bell, obviously Posey's gone. They're on the downturn at this point. So, and you guys, you know, our team doesn't really go for long-term contracts. I'm kind of disappointed. I think the Ruff deal is probably the best deal he's made in the last 3 years because to get to what they got with the relief, with the pitching, and Davis has been pretty good for us. But is there a feeling in the area that he's not doing a good job? Because Cashman's getting a lot of grief over here. Is he getting that grief there?
He is now. Yeah. Hey, Richard, thanks so much. I mean, that's the question we're all trying to get to is why would Aaron want to do that?
He is from Linden, California.
I like, these are my two answers every time. First of all, we drive ourselves nuts with why someone would want to go. Remember, Kevin Durant wants to play for Washington because he grew up there. No, he didn't. Like, I don't know. We're never going to know what makes a guy tick, but we do know one thing. Highest bidder wins like 80% of the deals.
And so if you don't believe it, go look it up.
Yeah. Why would he want to come to the Giants? Because they're the highest bidder. That's why. That's why. This is going to be
do the Giants want a guy? A 30-year-old guy coming off his career year who's had some injuries.
Yes, that's a different question and a very fair one. But if the Giants do, I don't know if they want Aaron Judge for 8 years.
They should. I mean,
they should.
Immediately would make. He's the biggest draw. He'd be the reason people would buy tickets. You know, I mean.
But for the money and the years, I get it. Like, that's the question they need to answer. If they do, the question of how do they get him, be the highest bidder. That's it.
I don't even know that you can make a bad deal when you factor in the attendance and everything, the merchandising, the jerseys. The Giants, I read something this week that the Giants aren't selling a lot of jerseys. Shocker.
Oh, why?
Shocker.
Who are you going to buy?
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Who are you going to buy?
I mean, Aaron Judge shows up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And that jersey's, you know, you can't find it.
Of course.
But he's also hitting, he's on his way to 60 plus home runs in the Bronx. and they're going to let him out the door. I mean, if Cashman lets Judge out the door, Cashman might as well leave with him.
Well, except for this is the position they put themselves in. Like, they knew this already. They knew who Aaron Judge was. They may not have known this. They didn't know he's going to go into 60 home runs in a contract year, but they know exactly who this guy is, and they balked. They balked. So now, whatever price they weren't going to pay before, it just got way worse.
It's way higher.
So why would you buy it? Like, there's going to be some remorse there for the Yankees. Go to the grocery store, and if you're like, yeah, I'm not buying, I'm not buying that for $8, right? Have you ever had orange juice in Hawaii? It's like $10 to get a jug of orange juice over there. So if you walk in and you're like, we're just not going to have orange juice this week, and then all of a sudden your kid is like, the only thing I want to do here is have orange juice. That's it. Dad, I just want orange. You're like, fine, we'll go back and get orange juice. Well, now it's $15. Now what's your reaction? You're going to feel like an idiot if you buy it. The Yankees will feel like idiots if they re-sign Judge. They may do it anyway, but they will feel like idiots because they could have had him for cheaper.
Yeah. But I mean, they're going to feel worse as they're getting raked by, the tabloids and on WFAN for, having the kind of revenue that they generate for being the kind of team that they are and allowing a homegrown player to walk in his prime. I mean, who they love on and off the field. I mean, that's going to be a hard sell.
Can I say one more quick thing about the Giants?
Go for it.
I almost feel like I have to apologize. I think we figured out what went wrong this year. I think we actually figured it out. Like, anybody can look at these two seasons. Oh, well, Buster. Okay. But Buster's WAR is not 35. He's not the one thing that happened between 107 wins and 80 or wherever they're headed this year. But on Thursday last week, I'm hanging with my girl, Christy, and she goes, oh, hey, what site do you use to, put $5 or $10 on a 49er game or whatever? And so, we'll give her the site. She goes, and don't you get like a little like share with your friends bump to your, oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Will you send that to me and I'll sign up? And because football, she's a big football fan. Okay.
Sounds like you're dating a savvy wagerer.
I mean, well, I thought so. And then I thought no, because the first thing she did, I thought she was going to wait for 49er games. Well, she gets her account going and she's like, well, hey, how about what's going on tonight? She goes, oh, well, the Giants are playing. I'm like, oh, hell, this isn't going to go well.
Go with the under in the first 5 innings.
This lady started betting on the Giants to win every single game.
And Wade said they've won 4 in a row.
And they've won 4 in a row. And one of them's over the Dodgers. And they're hitting 5 home runs. On Sunday, she's got the Giants on the run line.
Oh, what?
And the over 7.5.
What?
I text her in the 9th inning. I go, the only way you're getting this is a 2-run homer. And I go, the way you're going, you're probably going to get a 2-run homer. Leadoff guy walks. I go, there's your walk. One of the next 3 guys going to bomb this thing out of the boom. There goes Wilmer. I'm like, we found the key. I think we just found it too late.
Yeah. Get Christy to bet the Giants.
Bet on the Giants. Betting on the Giants to win last night. She didn't even do the run line. She was like, no, they're going to win. I go, they're not going to win. They fall down 2-0. I go, you lost your money.
Oh, man.
5 home runs.
That's the sports equivalent of like hitting on 17, playing 21.
And getting a 4.
Yeah.
And getting a 4. So.
Living right. I'm
sure she'll bet on them again tonight. So do with that whatever the hell you want.
Is she doubling down each time?
I don't know.
Roll it over.
Richard Dreyfuss. Let it ride. Oh, my gosh. So funny. Okay. Dave in Fresno, getting back to the Niners, Matty Barrows in 10 minutes. Hey, Dave, you're on with Willard and Krueger. And what are you doing, Dave?
I just left Walmart. I got some groceries to get ready for dinner tonight.
Nice.
I was listening to you guys while I was shopping. I listen to everywhere. You guys are great.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I just want to touch in on the situation with Jimmy G and Trey. I think what the talk is just the how can I say this? The optics. The whole thing, that how it all went down. Because, you took this championship ready-made team, what most pundits would say, and they made a plunge. They traded 3 first-round picks for a quarterback because they thought Jimmy was not good enough. whether they're going to say that or not, that's what that look gets. So when you take that move, and you could have used those resources, you could use those picks, maybe not all. You could have got a Surtain or a Pitt. You could have did any other route and rolled with Jimmy, but they didn't. They chose to upgrade over Jimmy. So to bring him back, I think that's just in a vacuum. Yeah, Jimmy backing up Trey. Yeah, that looks great in a vacuum, but we're not in that vacuum right now. It's a lot of different context that went on in this situation. So, to have him on the team and say if something were to happen to Trey, you can go to Jimmy. Well, I don't really agree with that, because they've shown that, hey, we don't believe in Jimmy either. So, it's just not adding up if you're a Niners fan or if you're on the outside looking in. Just like I said, in a vacuum, yeah, Jimmy's a solid quarterback, and you let this man backing up anybody. But just how this all went down, when do you turn to Jimmy?
Right. So, Dave, here's where I think you're. Yeah, Dave, thanks. Here's where you're spot on. There is a lot more to this than meets the ear. That's where I'm confident. You can love the move. You can hate the move. You can be a little scared of the move. I would describe myself as very curious of the move. I don't dislike the move. I've wondered the whole time what this says about what the 49ers feel inside their deep heart and gut about what they've seen from Trey Lance, whether it's through camp, OTAs, preseason, what have you. I very much have some curiosity about that. But if you just run the timeline through your head of the playoffs and factor in everything from Jimmy saying see ya, to getting surgery, to Trey Lance working with Brandon Ayuk, to what John Lynch and Kyle have said in front of the media about we're trying to trade, and Don Yee. And I mean, there must have been 50 twists and turns to this over the last 6 months. And to get to this moment where high-level egos, high-level players, and millions of dollars are on the line, I'm sorry that I just can't buy that everyone's like, oh, my brother's back in the quarterback room. This is great. I'm sorry. I can't. There has to have been so much that went down behind closed doors to get to this. And maybe it does lead to a good thing. But this was some stuff, man. This was some stuff.
You saying the 30 for 30 is going to be good?
Oh, my God. I think it's too good. It'll never come out. I don't think anyone's ever going to be willing to tell this story.
I think you got to remember a couple factors. You say, well, how did this all come about? This and that. I think people spend so much time watching the TV copy and no time watching the all 22, and that's understandable because only really hardcore people watch that all 22. But Kyle watches the all 22, so you only see, if you watch the TV copy, the errors of commission. You don't see the errors of omission, right? Like Kyle sees the guy that should have been hit down the field. That we don't even debate that on Monday because the throw wasn't made. Right. So we're only seeing, the guy threw a pick. So we're harping on the pick. And his biggest issue isn't the pick. It might be the three things that Jimmy didn't see. So I think that's what Kyle's looking at. And he saw a flawed quarterback over time who missed a lot. And then I think really, if you said, what is the number one factor? Why did they go from Jimmy to Trey? I think they literally went on a board and put down $25 million quarterback. This is the roster we can surround that player with. And then let's take a quarterback X on his rookie deal. Let's put him into our equation. This is what we can afford in 2023 and beyond with that quarterback. And they compared those two rosters and said, man, we really got to have that quarterback because they love the talent they've assembled. And they said, we got to have that quarterback on this rookie deal because we want Bosa, we want Ayuk, and we want Debo, and we want all these guys we've drafted and spent time, cultivating their careers. We want those guys. We think we're better. So I think it's really about the team as it looks with a $25 million quarterback, the team as it looks with a rookie quarterback or a quarterback on a rookie deal. I think that was the real impetus for this whole move.
It's all brought to you by BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. They provide a luxurious, all-encompassing experience to address all of your BMW needs. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit. It's BMWFairfield.com. We're always here to communicate with you. Those of you on hold, 888-957-9570. Stay where you are with your patience. We will get to you. Matty Barrows on the 49ers is coming up next as well. It's Willard. It's Krueger. It's 95.7 The Game.
I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you beat the books with BetQL. The Phillies come home after a 6-game road trip, and Bryce Harper continues to rake. Harper hitting .323 since his return. The Phillies are averaging over 5 runs a game over their last 12. With the light-hitting Marlins in town, Philadelphia will have to do most of the scoring to hit the over, but BetQL thinks they can. With a low total of 7 runs for Tuesday's game, the BetQL 5-star play of the day is to take the over between Philadelphia and Miami.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
T-Mobile believes customers deserve to get more without paying more. Everything from entertainment benefits like Netflix on Us to travel benefits to Scam Shield protection, all with taxes and fees included. So the price you see is the price you pay. When you're a T-Mobile customer, you get over $225 in value every month in benefits with our Max Family Plan.
That's like paying for nosebleed seats and getting to sit in the front row.
That's right. At T-Mobile, your family gets over $225 worth of value and benefits with our Max Plan each and every month. Plus, with our Price Lock Guarantee, we won't raise your rate plan price for talk, text, and data ever.
That's like paying for a cab and getting a stretch limo.
At T-Mobile, you get value beyond the expected.
Qualifying service required. Value based on included monthly benefits. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in Max's monthly price. Price Lock guarantees rate price of talk, text, and data for new accounts with qualifying service. Exclusions apply. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Some fans gear up for game day, but some fans follow their team every day. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network has a daily podcast for your favorite NFL team. Every trade, every overtime win, every game. Our local experts cover the biggest stories around your team every day. Search Locked On plus your favorite NFL team on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, I'm Andy, and every morning I wake up thinking about shaving. When I started Harry's almost a decade ago, the shaving industry was a mess. Flashy, overpriced razors as far as the eye could see. I just wanted a great shave at a fair price. Too much to ask? I didn't think so, and that's why I started Harry's. 10 years and 20 million Harry's customers later, we're still obsessed with giving you a quality shave experience. Sharper blades, a better lubricating strip, and making our handle grippy in all the right places. All upgrades based on your feedback. And it all comes at a great price. Seriously, as low as $2 per cartridge. These days, my mornings are a little bit different. Good morning, girls. But I still wake up thinking about shaving. Our starter set has everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. 5-blade German-engineered razor, weighted handle, and shave gel. Get yours now for just $3 with free shipping, backed by our quality guarantee. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code FRIEND at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FRIEND.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
We all know someone who's all work and no chill. Trust me, that used to be me. But then I found Galaxy Z Fold 4, which allows me to do more things at once. Much better. Now I can take video calls from my phone and use it to take notes at the same time.
Wait, are you at the spa?
Or check my shopping list while ordering more scented candles and face masks on the foldable, expansive screen. Don't take your to-do list one line at a time. Multitask so you can relax.
Get the new Galaxy Z Fold 4 at Samsung.com today.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com, and if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMC-FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Now, back to Willard and Dibbs on 95.7 The Game.
So you're going to save that, huh? Your big worry.
Well, we can go to it whenever. But yeah, I do have a primary concern.
Larry's got concerns.
Concern about Niners.
I used the word concerns all last week, and you raked me over the coals like an evil being for 5 straight days. Because I had concerns, and they weren't even my concerns. They were just a read on someone else's concerns.
Sorry that you were raked.
I was. I needed an extra day off this weekend for it, and that's why I left you to do what you did yesterday with Lowe, all by yourself. So it's all sponsored by Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises. It's Willard and Krueger. We're not by ourselves right now. We have Matty Barrows to talk to about the 49ers, and so let's talk about concerns. Mr. Barrows, let's talk about concerns with regard to what the 49ers concerns are. Like, do you read this whole experience we've had the last couple of weeks the same way, in that at minimum, the 49ers wish Trey Lance was a little further along in his development today than he is? Is that fair or no?
Oh, yeah. I think that's fair, but I don't think anybody is disappointed in his development. I mean, let's just go back to last year. The thing that they were most concerned about with Trey Lance was that he got injured a few times. And that kind of, they had this grand plan, this beautiful plan for easing Trey Lance into the NFL, which is he spends an apprentice year behind Jimmy Garoppolo. He gets to learn, he gets to practice, he gets to run the scout team. Really smooth arc. It wasn't smooth because he had this finger injury in August, and then he had a knee injury in October. And there may have been a couple of other ones in there, but what it led to was sort of an up and down, a jagged learning curve. And he's probably not exactly where when they did this grand plan back in March or April of last year, whenever it was, and they kind of imagined what it would be like. Ideally, it's not quite where it was in their most idealized form of that plan.
I was just telling Mark that I had a concern with the 49ers. I was going to save it for the pregame, but I'm gonna throw it right here. And nobody's talking about this. But they lost DJ Jones, and they replaced him with Kinlaw. And Kinlaw looks beastly and like he could be monstrous this year. But Jones was so good against the inside run that teams didn't even try it in the second half of games. How concerned are you, especially in a game like this against the Bears, that it may just be a lot of David Montgomery up the middle and that they're going to get Kinlaw blocked, and when the Niners go to the Givens and the smaller players inside, that those guys get moved in the run game, and it's a lot of A-gap running for Chicago. Is that a concern?
That's always been sort of the concern about the wide nine and how Chris Kasarik runs the system. And it was a critique when he was in Detroit, that you have all these guys sort of aggressively springing off the line of scrimmage, but that's creating some big gaps in the middle. But you're right. I mean, it absolutely was not a concern at all last year. They were great against the run. And I think that has a lot to do with DJ Jones, but I also think it has a lot to do with the linebackers. That's really what they're doing. And, this probably has been underreported, that this is one of the best, if not the best, linebacker groups in the NFL, led by Fred Warner. So I think that they're kind of covered a bit in that regard. I think you're right, though. I don't think that they did replace DJ Jones in any way, shape, or form. They do have Hassan Ridgeway. He's sort of their big run stuffer, but ideally, you're right. It's going to be Armstead and Kinlaw in the middle there. And I know that third preseason game, they didn't game plan for it, this, that, and the other, but the Texans were kind of slicing through them early in that game. Damian Pierce and that group looked pretty good. And I think it's easy to slough off, but you're right. If the first half looks like that third preseason game did, that's going to be a storyline.
Matty Barrow's with us, covering the 49ers forever right here on 95.7 The Game. Do you have a hoodie picked out, and how do you see potential rain affecting this game? Because that's what the weather report says right now, Matt.
Rain, bring on the rain, I say. I mean, this is the team. I mean, I think if Kyle Shanahan had his druthers, this would be like 1972 style run-pass ratio, where, at the end of the season, you've got 150 more runs than you do pass attempts. They would love slop every game of the week. I've been following that forecast too. It rains there one day, and then next day you click on it and it's gone. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen on Sunday. I do know that the temperature is probably going to be 30 degrees less than what they're practicing in at least midweek this week in Santa Clara.
Matty, let's talk injuries. The two that I want your thoughts on. Is Mike McGlinchey a go at right tackle? If not, who steps in? Is it Moore? Is it McKivitz? And is Garoppolo going to be the number 2 quarterback, or is his injuries going to make Purdy the number 2 in week 1?
No, he's going to be the number 2 in week 1. I mean, it's for him, the reason why he was practicing on a side field all those days wasn't so much that the injury was still healing. It was just to kind of get the stamina in that arm back up. And I think it's where it needs to be. Now, if he all of a sudden had to, start one game after another, I think that becomes a question mark. But they seem to kind of slough that off and say that everything was back to normal with Garoppolo. And as far as McGlinchey, we talked to him yesterday. The 49ers had an open locker room, and he said he was good to go. He had a little bit of a setback in training camp, this, that, and the other, but he, again, seemed to kind of slough that off. I don't think it's all that slough-offable. I mean, that's a knee, that's a part of his body that he's had consistent issues with. And remember, he had only played, I think it was 8 snaps in that preseason opener against the Packers, and he started to feel irritation in that knee. So that's a bit of a red flag. Can this guy who was bothered after 8 snaps play a 17-game season? We're talking 60 snaps a game. So if the answer is no, and he has to come out, or he has to take a couple of games off, I think it would be certainly McKivitz to start the season. He's the swing tackle. I think it would be McKivitz who'd go in at either left or right if there was an issue with Williams or McGlinchey early on. I think he's decidedly further along than Jalen Moore. I think that they like Jalen Moore at the tackle more down the line, but Moore was injured quite a bit in training camp, and so he starts the season behind McKivitz when it comes to those tackles.
Maddie, I know what the depth chart says, but let's be honest, the depth chart's just a big old sheet of lies is what it is. So if Eli Mitchell needs a break, or if Eli Mitchell gets hurt, who's coming in next?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that Jeff Wilson is coming in next. He's the veteran. He's the number 2 guy. They like how he runs. They're still getting Ty Davis-Price in gear. To me, the question is, I don't think anybody's expecting Elijah Mitchell to, like Mike McGlinchey. It's hard to imagine those guys making it through a full season given their injury histories. I wonder as the season goes on and they become more comfortable with Ty Davis-Price. And like I said, I think Shanahan wants to make this a real kind of throwback type team. Well, the throwback type runner in that group, or I should say the throwback runners, plural, are Ty Davis-Price and Jordan Mason, because they're big body guys. I think Mason's even bigger than Ty Davis-Price, and Ty Davis-Price is 225. So if all goes according to plan, you sort of have this might is right offense going on this season. I think Wilson certainly meshes well with that. He might be 210, but he runs like a 230-pounder. But those other guys, they would take a lot out of a defense. And it would be the 49ers zigging where the rest of the league has zagged as far as fast, light defenses that are built to stop the pass. If the 49ers can do it, then boy, all of that seems that blueprint that they've set up seems to be really, really smart.
It's funny, off season, it was a lot about, how good's the O-line going to be? How good's the secondary going to be? And now we still have that question coming into week 1. I'm hearing great things about Nick Zakelj. Is Zakelj going to unseat Brendel and Brunskill at the center spot at some point early in this season? And then they're only carrying 3 safeties, Hufanga, Tarvarius Moore, and Odom. Moore, to me, takes bad angles pretty consistently. What are you hearing from them? Do you think it'll be Odom? Do you think it'll be Moore? There's not a lot of depth there.
No, there's not. I mean, that's a problem area. My thought is that it's going to be Odom and Hufanga. And both of these are kind of rough and tumble guys. Both of these guys came into this league expecting to be, special team stalwarts. And that's what they are. Or certainly that's what Odom is. So, I mean, they are good tacklers. They are instinctual. They don't have a lot of speed. So that's sort of the question mark. Are they going to kind of get burned on deep balls? Can they cover as much ground as the ideal safety net that the 49ers usually can? And I agree with you with Moore. I mean, he's the fastest of the group. He's the fastest defender, probably. But he's just not. He doesn't quite have the instincts that a Hufanga has. So, I mean, he's there. If the 49ers run into issues, he's definitely in the game. They might even put him in some dime situations. But I think that they're just kind of crossing their fingers that there are no more injuries at that group. And if there are, I wonder whether they put a call into Jaquiski Tart at some point, a guy who can run. We saw that speed kind of saved the day in that Packers game when he came across the field and stopped a touchdown. But I think that's something that's in case of emergency break glass type of move. They just want to get Jimmy Ward back healthy. And then the other question about Zakelj, he told me yesterday that that practice was the first one where he started to take some real kind of snaps at center. I mean, my guess is that he was doing it for the scout team. But I think that shows that, okay, that's the position that they want this guy to play in the future. But I don't think it's early in the season that happens. Obviously, injuries would change that, but I think he's sort of a long-term project at that center spot.
Matty Barrows getting ready to head to Chicago. When are you heading out?
Heading out Saturday, yeah. I screwed it up. My UVA Cavaliers are playing Illinois on Saturday, I think at 1 p.m. And I get in at noon to Midway, Chicago. So even if I zip down, I'd probably only be able to see the second half. So that's it, guys. That's on me. That's just bad planning on my part.
And you're a vet. You're a veteran.
Yeah,
it's unlike you to make that
I
kind of
know.
mistake.
I shouldn't be making these mistakes at this point in my career.
Would it be a little closer for you to just get to Wrigley Field, where the San Francisco Giants will be working on their 8-game win streak? I don't know. Is that possible?
Yeah.
That's possible, and Northwestern also is playing at home. So there are a lot of possibilities.
All right. Well, good luck picking one of those. And Maddie, thank you so much.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right, there it is. Maddie Barrows with us on the 49ers. Yeah, what a weekend in Chicago.
Seriously,
what a weekend in Chicago. Can you tell I'm a little excited? What a weekend in Chicago.
Do you have anything planned? I mean,
I'm going to the Giants game on Saturday.
Okay, but
the Giants game on Saturday.
It's a great summertime town. I mean,
Oh
you talk
my
about Navy
gosh.
Pier, Second City.
So I'm going with a group of people who do have some level of Chicago knowledge. And so I'm going to let them lead the way. But there's not going to be a whole lot of time for, I should say there's not a lot of time for messing around. It's going to be nothing but messing around. But the point is like kind of getting out there Friday night. That's just to settle in, find some food, go to bed night. And then Saturday, we're going to the Giants game. Saturday after the Giants game, we got to find a comfortable spot with a lot of terrible food and wonderful drinks to do a fantasy draft.
Nice.
Which will be a different kind of fantasy draft because we can select players from the Thursday night game who go off. Like their stock goes up. Like if Cooper Kupp catches 3 touchdown patches, well, stock up, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, that's right. You're having the draft post-Thursday.
Post-Thursday draft.
So you can guarantee a week 1 win.
That's right. So that happens Saturday. And then, people will probably have drinks, and then we will go to the football game on Sunday.
Have you ever been to Dick's Last Resort?
No, that sounds very salacious.
Dick's Last Resort is this place in Chicago. It's a restaurant. I think it's a chain, and like the shtick is that they're kind of rude to you.
Oh,
so they'd be like, nice hat, Yeah, seriously.
I'm actually really into that.
Yeah.
I'd love for it because I can be like, I'm not by nature, I'm not a rude person, but I can go there.
Yeah.
I bottle it up. Like I can play.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, nice jacket. What'd you pay for that? That's a nice haircut. You get a bowl of soup with that?
Rodney Dangerfield Caddyshack in the club.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm in. We'll look for it. How close is it in Wrigleyville? Where is it?
I think it's down by Ditka's.
Okay.
Down by the Loop.
All right. I love we're all, is it by the Loop and Wrigleyville? Like acting like we live there. Let's go to Philmo Mike on with Willard and Krug right here on 95.7 The Game. Philmo, what are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm chilling, man, listening to y'all, admiring. I was on the Odyssey app. I love Matson's train of thought. I wrote this down.
Okay.
It's leveled and calculated, and he just don't say anything. But listen, man, this is what I mainly want.
Oh, man.
I'm serious. It's funny how everybody knows, like, the type of quarterback Trey Lance is going to be, and he hasn't even played. He played, 3 games?
Exactly.
How y'all know he going to be, but y'all don't know how Kyler Murray's going to be this year. Y'all seen him for 3 years.
But Philmo, I'm gonna clap back because this is sports, and in fact, you're kind of taking my role right now. Let me take yours. Like, this is sports. If we're not allowed to fire away with what we think is about to happen, then the entire industry crumbles. That's what this is. You got a gambling app. You got a fantasy team. You've got everything is based on what you think is about to happen. And then we all show up on Monday to be wrong.
Exactly.
That's what this is. So don't come down on someone's road because they're telling you what they think Trey's going to be. That's what we're doing right now.
But Mark, they're saying it as if it's fact. They're saying, well, yeah, Trey Lance is not that accurate he's even worse, more so inaccurate than him. What are you talking about? He's played 3 games. You feel me?
Yeah, no.
I feel you.
I got that, but it there is some fact to it if you base it on not only those 3 games, but
camp stats.
Not just camp stats, but camp eyes. Camp eyes have, these aren't lying eyes. Like you've seen it. They've seen it. They've said it. But I think, Filmo, to your point, is at this point in his career, that is potentially okay. That's okay. Josh Allen was inaccurate 3 starts in. So it does not mean that Trey can't be good. Now, you feel me? There's a middle ground there.
I feel you. My last point, Mark, I'm going to keep it real with you. I love you. I sent you a text message.
This is not going well.
He's setting you up.
This is not heading
I love you.
This is not a good direction. Go ahead.
There's a big old butt coming.
No. All I was saying was, y'all keep trying to talk about the Giants. I love the Giants. I grew up on the Giants, my favorite team. But I want y'all to know, we don't care about stars. We don't care about names. It's the Bay. We love to be unrepresented, unappreciated. We love the underdog or the less heralded. We just want results, man. We want a good, entertaining brand of baseball. We don't want this weak-ass, you pencil him in, I pencil. No, we want spontaneous action. Ricky Henderson, Oakland A's, Giants from 97 to like 2003. Come on, man. This weeko, whatever he trying to do, I'm not feeling it.
Okay. Filmo, I actually love what you just said, because you're bringing up a larger point, and it's not about whether you like what Farhan's doing or whether you don't like what Farhan's doing.
He just wants to win.
He's right. He's right.
They're not winning.
No, they're not. But the fix is what's important here. And I do think a lot of you have the wrong fix. I'm with you. They need to spend because you do need to spend. There is an X and Y here. There is an X equals Y. You spend, you win. Look at the top 10 spenders in baseball. But it doesn't mean just spend to spend. Like, this does not mean the Giants are not in a spot where it's like enter star, stir, mix, and serve. That's not going to work. This team had no huge stars. I know some people get mad because Buster was on the team and Chris Bryant got acquired. But this was not a name value team last year. And I didn't give a rip. They won 107 games and had a great time. So your time, your fun watching Giants, they're boring. They're boring because they're losing. If they were winning, I don't care who the names are. So, yes, spend, and I'm not anti-star, but don't do it just for that sake. It better work.
I don't care. I don't care why you spend. Just spend. I really, and I
if
do.
They
and I
spend
do,
and lose. Where are you going to be?
I don't need.
Where are you going to be?
Well, I don't need. I'd rather win than have a star.
Thank you.
But let's not pretend that these things don't have a relationship with one another. If you have stars, you tend to win. To me, the guys and I made a list: Trey Turner, Brandon Nimmo, Aaron Judge, Kiki Hernandez, who just re-signed, so he's not on the free agent market, and Will Myers, who just absolutely turns the park into his personal playground. I'm kicking tires on those 4 guys: Turner, Nimmo, Myers, and Judge. And I'm coming strong with big offers. Now, obviously, you can't get them all. Myers would be my pivot if I don't get Judge. But man, enough of these no-name, nothing additions. Go get something where, you know what? There's a lot. The attendance is down partially because of the no-names.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I want that out there. But
it's the sleepiest team in the history of my life.
But the most important thing is results, not names.
Yeah.
It's not about names, because we do have your examples, Angels, Rangers. You can have your stars and stink. Red Sox,
but
stink.
That's not necessarily the Giants' history. Like, you can't point to a Giants team that had stars left and right and stunk. I mean, none that I can think of. A team that was star-laden that stunk?
Star-laden? I don't know if the Giants have ever been star-laden.
Well, they were in the 60s.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying.
Exactly.
They had Hall of Famers.
Go back 65 years in order to find an example.
Before we were even born.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in our lifetime, I can't remember too many Giant teams that had big stars that weren't pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, I would much rather, like, if you want to give me last year again, 107 wins with people platooning, fine. It's about the results, not the names. All right, more of your phone calls coming up next. 888-957-9570. I do have a couple more NFL believability statements for you. That was fun last week. We got a couple more of those coming up. Stay right where you are. It's Willard. It's Krueger. It's 95.7 The Game.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
You put it in your mouth and you chew it up real good.
I know how to chew gum, Dad.
Hurry up, we got leaks to fix.
What are you two up to? We're fixing our leaky pipes.
Yeah.
With gum? Yeah, it's a hack, Mom.
A what?
A hack.
You know.
A do-it-yourself trick.
No, the trick to fixing leaks and low water pressure is calling repipe specialists.
You mean professionals?
I mean, repipe specialists can repipe our whole house in 1 to 2 days, fix the leaks and low water pressure, repair the holes in the walls if we want, and they guarantee their work for life.
Got leaks or low water pressure? Call the professionals at Repipe Specialists, and in 1 to 2 days, they can repipe your whole house with new PEX tubing. With over 60,000 repipes completed, that's their specialty.
You really stepped in it.
I was just being...
The gum, Dad. You
What?
stepped in the gum.
Oh, great.
Call 800-217-1636 for a free in-home estimate and ask about their 0% financing options. That's 800-217-1636. Call today, 800-217-1636, or visit repipe.com.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Now it's time for the closer of the week. Presented by LiftMaster and RNS Doors. Turn your garage into the envy of the neighborhood. Visit rnsdoors.com.
The closer of the week is Alex Cobb, who threw 5 shutout innings against the Minnesota Twins to bring his ERA in the month of August down to 3.1.
0-2 count, the pitch. He struck him out swinging. That was nasty.
Recently, my garage door opener was not working. I was in need of a closer. I was put in touch with RNS Doors, and they hooked me up with a brand new garage door opener from LiftMaster. With LiftMaster's MyQ connectivity, my garage door can be controlled right from my smartphone. I know when a door or gate has been left open, and I can close it with a tap no matter where I am. Be one of the first 10 callers and receive 20% off of a LiftMaster garage door opener when you purchase a premium garage door.
Call 1-800-FIX-A-DOOR. That's 800-FIX-A-DOOR. Or visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
Do you have neuropathy? Are you experiencing numbness, tingling, and pain that just won't stop? Are you taking dangerous drugs that have serious side effects and never fix the pain? If so, please listen to this message. Neuropathy is a serious, progressive condition that only gets worse if not treated properly. Call SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE to get back to doing the things you want to do. There is no drug, exercise, or surgery that can heal nerves. Don't wait until your condition gets worse and stops you from living your life fully. SF Bay Wellness has a time-tested, proven track record of helping hundreds of patients to improve and reverse their neuropathy. If you're ready to regain your independence, contact SF Bay Wellness at 844-94-NERVE. Call now for your $99 neuropathy special and receive a personal treatment plan that is tailored to your needs. Call 844-94-NERVE. That's 844-94-NERVE and start to enjoy life again.
Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event and take advantage of one-of-a-kind opportunities. Visit Friedman's Appliance Fall Clearance Sale event.
the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Get ready, dude. Get ready.
I'm ready.
The Giants have made the acquisition everybody is waiting for.
Yes. Don't disappoint me.
His name is none other than Evan Goldstein.
What?
Evan Goldstein has joined the San Francisco Giants organization as the first ever master sommelier for a professional sports organization.
Meaning, what does he do?
He's a wine expert.
He's a whiner.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Doug and Wendy Weiner?
He's a whiner. Yeah,
We don't want a wine expert.
We have a reservation. Yeah. Did you know that September is California Wine Month? Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that.
You seem like the kind of guy that would go to a restaurant and bring your own bottle.
Oh, no.
Strawberry lemonade, truly.
No, I don't think I've done that more than maybe once in my life.
You don't?
Yeah.
I brought my own.
I mean, like the corkage fee places now is practically as expensive as a bottle of wine.
Right.
Plus, I'm not a huge, unless we got a big group, I'm not a let's go out on the town and have a bottle of wine. Like, I'll have a glass of wine.
Trying to get a nice little buzz.
I am so anti-hangover. I can't tell you how firm of a rule this is in my life. No hangovers.
Don't ever have a wine hangover.
Ever. Like, I'm going to Chicago this weekend, and this will be something for me to navigate because I'm not waking up for week one of an NFL schedule with tickets to a game with my head pounding. I will be furious with myself. It ruins everything. So I am not having 18 drinks when we go out. It ruins everything. It's a terrible trade. It's the Mets getting Darren Ruff for 4 players. I don't want 1 hour of fun and in exchange 20 hours of pain. I'm out.
What you got to do is you got to go to
I'm out.
You got to go to one of those restaurants and bring your own bottle of wine, but have it be like a cheap bottle that like you screw top.
Right. Right. Just be like,
he brought his own cherry.
Are we good? I got my $2 chuck.
Yeah, I've got my. I brought my. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you have a glass for my Boone's cherry wine?
Oh, Boone's Farm, man! You just talked about my entire senior trip to Cancun, Mexico. I guess that would have been 1993. Man, you just walk around with those bottles.
Excuse me.
Get in a cab. It just doesn't matter what you're doing.
Do you have do you have a thing of ice for my T-Bird? For my
bunch of idiots. Can you imagine? Like, you could become an adult and you look back and you think of the people you affected in life. Like, if you were that cab driver and you're just going hotel to hotel with 18-year-olds getting into your cab with open Boone's Farm, I'd be like, I hate all, like, go away.
Seriously.
You are all morons and you know nothing and you think you know everything. Go away.
Go vomit in somebody else's
exactly.
cab.
Leave me a 50% tip because I deserve it. That's pretty much. Anyway, Evan Goldstein. Yeah. first ever major professional sports team that has its own master sommelier. So you may not get wins, you may not get homers, you may not get everyday players, but you get wine.
You get wine.
Yeah, you get your wine.
What's that guy making? What's that guy pulling?
I do not have a salary listed here on this release.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think it's probably pretty good.
You think he's six figs?
I think it's 6 figs.
Oh.
Are you kidding? The Giants are going to hire someone and put out a press release in the Bay Area for $85,000. What's the next paragraph? By the way, he's sharing an apartment with 8 friends in the Mission. Like, I mean, what
is one of them Tommy LaStella?
Come on. Yeah, he's making 6 figs. If you let out a press release, it's got to be 6 figs.
Oh, my
Don't you
God.
think?
Get a first baseman! For crying out loud!
Like, what are you talking about? We have 12 first basemen. That's all we've got is first baseman. Everybody's taking grounders over at first base.
Get a 3-hole hitter. Do something. My God. Just watched the most boring product I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, man. Well, not last night.
Last night was a joy. And by the way,
You're
I feel
right.
like I impacted that thing because I walked in the room and I said to my kid, I said, oh, look at this. 4th inning, no runs, so Giants. And then boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom, boom. And it happened fast. 2 of those homers came right away. Lou Brinson's to dead center was a job.
It's my favorite Giant right there.
Oh,
Lou
my
Brinson.
gosh. That was an absolute job. And then J.D. Davis tops on that. And then here comes Tyro Estrada. And then later Lou Brinson with their Oppo tacos just before Taco Tuesday. Nice job. I mean, look, there's something to be said for what happened last night if you just spotlight the day. These were all young players. They were all under control next year for the Giants. All of them, let's see, Estrada. But outside of that, these are all players who are like not on the roster even 2 months ago in Brinson and J.D. Davis. And who am I forgetting? Who else hit one?
VR.
Oh, yeah, VR. Exactly. Another Oppo.
Yeah.
Oppo job.
And by the way, it must have been hot there last night.
Oh, gee, you think?
Did you see the Brinson second bomb?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe
the ball was flying.
Yeah, that one normally doesn't leave
but
the
the
yard.
Dodgers only got one. You know, they got Freeman, and actually someone hit one later in the game. But yes, the ball it's 100 degrees everywhere in California right now.
Yeah.
So the ball was flying, but still, like that was a youthful game. And
well, you know what?
There's something to be said for that.
Look how much fun offense is. How about just offense? How about some speed? How about some power? How about something that's actually, I don't know, entertaining? The Giants have all these guys that are just like, that guy ain't leaving the yard. This guy's not leaving the yard. Nobody can steal a base. Give me some athletes. I like watching Lou Brinson. And who knows? You know, I mean, he was a high prospect once upon a time. Maybe they'll find lightning in a bottle there.
Still just 28 years old. Some guys take a second to come into their own. Who knows? Go. I mean, Lewis Brinson, it's easy to get super wooed by what you see last night and ignore everything that his career has not been.
He's a star in the making.
But put it this way. I did look this up because I was curious and I had heard that it had been going well. Because these are his first big league games of the year. He's not even been in the bigs.
He's had a good minor league year, right?
He's been in AAA with Houston and mashing. 22 home runs and about 370 at-bats, an OPS that's just short of 1,000. So it's fair for the Giants to say, maybe he found something. Let's take a look. And that's what they're doing. And you got another lefty on the mound tonight. So you're going to get another look tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I wish they had expanded rosters. I know they only expanded them a little bit, but I wish, because the Giants right now need to go take a bunch of flyers on some guys and take a look. Find 1 or 2 players for 2023 in September, right? It's got to be the plan.
Let me give you a couple more NFL believability statements, and I want to start with a 49er one. And for those of you who did not hear us last week doing NFL believability statements, so these are, because everyone wants bold predictions. I'm not going to make a bold prediction because it's stupid. I'm not, Travis Kelce's going to get hurt, and so Cole Kmet is going to lead the tight ends in receiving this year. There's no point in predicting something like that. All we know is that there will be surprises. That was the basis of our conversation last week. There will be surprises. So we throw out statements that Could you believe this? Or is that just so out of the realm of possibility? What if I said to you that the 49ers don't have a 1,000-yard receiver this year?
That to me is totally plausible. They got a lot of weapons. And if you spread the ball around and you run it a ton, and I expect them to run the ball 55% of the time. I mean, I think it's gonna be a run-heavy scheme. Absolutely, they're gonna run the hell out of it.
I have a Raiders one as well. I have a Raiders one. Spadone all of a sudden leans forward in his chair. I have a Raiders one. We know that Raider fans, anytime you even bring up their players' names, they get very, very mad. They're the only ones who are allowed to talk about them. But I have a really fun Raiders one that I will throw at you coming up next. Mark Willard, Larry Krueger, 95.7 The Game.
All the noise.
How many other teams in the NFL? 31 teams? Not one other team cares that they don't have Jimmy Garoppolo.
All the drama. I would rather watch the Niners lose games with Trey Lance than win games with Jimmy Garoppolo. None of it matters come Sunday.
And here goes the rookie around the left side, and then he goes for the touchdown. Man, oh man. Plays a tackle, and Mitchell all the way for the touchdown.
Bears. This is the Bay Area's sports station. 95.7 The Game.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Live on DAZN pay-per-view, September 17th, Part 3. Canelo versus Triple G to take the trilogy. Bad blood, a score to settle, controversy, brutality, pure hostility. For victory, for history, for the trilogy. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer, a big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, agile, staying ahead of the market at every turn, and finding ways to do more with less. That's never been more important than it is right now. So for a limited time, Comcast Business is introducing Small Business Savings, a deal for companies across the country. When you call in now, you can get powerful internet for just $39 a month for 12 months. $39 a month. With no annual contract and a money-back guarantee. All on the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. With the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call and get started today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Offer ends 9/21/22. Restrictions apply. New Comcast Business 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Call or go online for details. After promo, regular rates apply.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer, a big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
Now, local businesses can get closer to every customer in their city with fast, affordable shipping. Introducing USPS Connect Local. You want speed? We deliver same or next day. You want savings? We give you supplies at a flat rate. You want less legwork? We do free pickups. Move your local business forward with the United States Postal Service. Let's connect at USPSconnect.com/local. Specific markets, restrictions apply. Same day or next day delivery expected, but not guaranteed with entry close to final destination.
Absolutely scorching in Fairfield today, highs near 115.
Weather brought to you by the Odyssey app.
Get your favorites on the free Odyssey app. Listen to local and national news stations, plus your music, sports, and podcasts for free wherever you are on the Odyssey app.
Wildfire is coming. Get set by knowing what to take and where to go. If you need to evacuate, go early to protect your family and community. Wildfire is coming. Do you have a plan? Learn more at readyforwildfire.org.
Now, back to Willard and Dibbs on 95.7 The Game.
This just came across my feed, so I can't,
what do you got?
Well, it's visual, so it's tough on radio, but I want to send everybody, if you're on Twitter at all, go to Andrew Brandt's feed. Andrew Brandt's one of our favorites. I know you know Andrew.
Yeah.
He's come on shows for years. I think he's one of the smartest NFL minds
Former
out there.
capologist of the Pack.
Of the Packers, right. And now he's a professor at Northwestern, in addition to, or is it Villanova? I always forget. Anyway, it's Villanova, yeah. So anyways, executive director of their Morad Center. He's had this video that I showed every one of my kids over the weekend multiple times, and it just came across my feed again. Have you seen this thing where the Pee Wee football team tries to take the field? And so you know how you got cheerleaders that hold up the banner for them to run through? And I mean Pee Wee football. These are little kids where the helmets, they look like bobbleheads. The helmets are just bouncing around on their little heads. And they go, okay, ready, set, go. And they all run toward the banner, and half of them don't know which side of the banner to go through.
Right.
So they go left to go through the banner, and half of them go right to go around the cheerleaders and then come through the front of the banner, and they all meet at the banner and smash, and the whole thing falls. The kids fall, the banner falls, the cheerleaders fall. The coach is in the corner of the video, throws his hat, he's all ticked off.
Saw that.
It's the greatest thing I've seen on the internet in a long time. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, go check it out. And I'm gonna retweet it right now too.
And you could see the coach looks legitimately mad.
Right. It's like they're 5 years old. It's the best thing ever, and he's so furious.
I can't choreograph us running in correctly.
How are we going to run XYZ 90 right if we can't even run through the damn poster?
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's the best. It's
Kids are going down.
Oh, it's so much fun. Anyway, all right. Willard, Larry Krueger, glad you are with us today. Steiny and Guru show is coming up here. Momentarily, they'll jump in here. We'll do the changeover. Have a good time. All right, I promised a Raider believability statement.
All right, yeah, what do you got?
And I know that all the Raider fans are leaning in and getting ready to track down my DMs so that they can threaten my life. because I'm going to use Derek Carr's name. And I know I'm not allowed to do that because I'm not a Raider fan.
Oh, boy.
But here we go. What if we combine quarterback and receiver numbers? Like think Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison. That was the most epic combo. What if the most lethal quarterback wide receiver combo in the NFL this year is Derek Carr and Davante Adams? And I ask because I could totally believe that. Number one.
Davante's clearly got incredible ball skills, and these guys have a rapport that goes back to college. So it's not about building a rapport. They have a rapport. It's not like about learning your quarterback or learning your receiver where there's a buildup. These guys know each other well.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it.
And they're going to run that kind of an offense, I believe, or I wonder. I mean, it's McDaniel's now taking this thing over. That's never really necessarily been built on stats. And I know that they've got a running back brigade now, as opposed to one guy who's going to be a bell cow. Like, that's my other advice for your fantasy. You guys are all over drafting Josh Jacobs. Like, I don't know what you think's going to happen there. But Josh Jacobs not getting 20 carries in any games this year.
I took Zeus. I took Zamir White.
I think that's a smart play. Like late.
Georgia.
Like late. Yeah. But if you're drafting Jacobs based on what he's done in the past, I don't think it's going to look like that. And my peeps who are like following the Raiders, like, not what it's going to look like. So
you know a guy who knows a guy who knows JT the Brick?
I actually know JT the Brick. So how about that?
Look at you.
Yeah, I just go straight to the right. I don't need to play 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right.
I can just text JT right now.
Look at you.
Right now. But that's not my guy. Anyway, I could see it. And you're going to have to score a truckload of points to win in that division this year, right? I mean, who's not scoring 30 when they play each other in that division this year?
And what's the physical status of Darren Waller? Because isn't he dinged up? I thought he was dinged up.
I think he was, but I think
he's the guy that he's one of the best tight ends in the game.
No doubt. And they're working on an extension with him. I don't think there's a whole lot of concern there. I think that there was bubble wrap on Darren Waller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was one of those injuries that it's like, look, I mean, I stated this a couple of times about the Warriors last year. The MVP of the Warriors season last year was the way that they played their injuries. It was the way they conducted the whole thing. Klay Thompson, nope, we're saving you till January. And then once we get you, we're not doing back-to-backs. Steph Curry, 3 weeks to go till the playoffs start. That's it. We'll see you in the playoffs. And I believe they knew pretty early he was going to be fine for the playoffs, but they weren't going to risk it with any regular season games. Even Draymond's back, which I think was probably the most difficult of the three to sort of navigate. Wasn't it amazing that the playoffs started and
he was totally fine.
For the first time all year, the whole team was healthy.
Yeah.
For the first time all year. And so if you're an established star, that's how you handle an injury. I think that's what the Raiders are doing with Darren Waller.
The Raiders don't have a lot of receivers, though. I mean, Davante Adams, this is the receiving core. Davante Adams, Mark Hollins, Hunter Renfrow.
Renfro's good. That's their two.
Tyron Johnson and DJ Turner.
You know what, though? You go around to a lot of NFL teams.
Renfrow is established.
Yeah.
Adams is established. The rest of those guys are kind of just guys.
I bet, and not Larry Krueger because you watch YouTube late at night, but I bet I can go to a lot of NFL fans and stump them on who anybody's third receiver is. Like that, I think if you've got two, because honestly, if you weren't here in San Francisco, if you lived in Tampa or if you lived in Boston,
right,
would you know who Juwan Jennings is?
Probably not.
You know what I mean?
Gray.
Right. Like you got no idea what's going on there. So like, even if let's go to Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, what's next?
KJ Osborne.
Correct.
Something.
Right. Again, Larry Krueger can get that. How many people? And that's considered.
And I've already had the fantasy draft.
Yeah, there you go. That's partially why. But that's considered one of the best receiving cores in the game. You know, maybe you can go to Cincinnati and give me Tyler Boyd. But how many third receivers do people actually know?
No.
So the Raiders
but it's amazing because they use a lot of three wides. You see more three wides than ever before.
I mean, like the Rams, I might be able to mention it. But like even good receiving cores, like, gosh, the third guy, and that's what the Raiders are. Like I think Davante Adams and Hunter Renfrow, that's a really good start. And then whatever you get after that, that's, if you got a third receiver that's putting up numbers, that's a huge bonus in this league.
Yeah.
So,
take a look at the Bears, for example. I mean, what do the Bears have at receiver? They
they barely get probably one.
Yeah.
They got Mooney, and then, who's on that team? Dante Pettis is on that team, isn't he?
Oh, that's right. Dante blue hair. Bayless Jones Jr., he's not
30 years old.
There you go. That's how quickly we get to Dante Pettis, right? And that's how quickly we get to today's edition of Steiny and Goo, which is Goo and JD, and it is week 1 of the National Football League season, and we are ready to go. And look at that smile.
You and me, baby, in fantasy.
Ear to ear.
This is my enemy right
That's
now.
right. I forgot about that.
They got you winning by 4.
Of course I'm going to win. I'm not going to win by 4. I'm going to win by 24. Don't you worry about that.
Look at that.
Do you have anything on Thursday night? Do you have anything that I got to be worried about on Thursday night?
It's you know what? Top secret.
You don't even know.
Hasn't set the lineup yet.
I went glamping. I was in the woods.
Right.
It's over, Larry. I'm done. I told JD, I grew up a deer hunter. This heat was so bad. Everybody was miserable. We were in RV. Nobody asked. I'm just telling you guys this. But it was awful. I'm done camping.
You know what? Did you get bit by any bugs?
Oh, no, the flies were everywhere, though. So I didn't get bit, but they were just, get on.
So I'm talking to a buddy of mine the other day who lives down in Houston. And I'm like, dude, you're in a good mood today. Why are you in such a good mood? He's like, oh, yeah, man. Me and my wife, we just found some bug repellent that we like.
Wow.
I swear to you. I'm like, oh, my God, that's a nightmare.
Like some damn mosquitoes. Oh.
All right. It's official. You've had too many fantasy drafts. How many leagues?
5. I've been 5.
There, I knew it.
But why would you? I got a B+ on
you
that.
have the number 2 pick in our draft, and you picked Josh Allen.
Oh,
and
there's no doubt.
Asked you if you have someone Thursday night, and you're like,
oh, right.
You don't even know. You have too many teams.
Dude.
You have too many teams.
Okay, isn't there, to me, 1 fantasy team, awesome, 2, less awesome. Anything after that is just confusion.
No,
Larry, I'm a gambler at heart, and I'm a diehard at heart, but it just adds, there's not a game we're going to be watching when you're in multiple leagues to where you got some action.
I got 3 leagues. My son has 3 leagues.
But you're rooting for and against.
No, there's an easy fix for that. You just root for all of it.
There you go.
You just root for all of it.
But you're rooting against Goose players when you're playing him. So you probably have
some of them.
Right.
You got guys that you're rooting against and rooting for.
Yeah.
And that's a nice.
Do we know because I didn't grow up with fantasy football and I'm in the suburb. Do we know the founder of fantasy football?
What about the founder?
Is there an icon? Like he came up with the concept, or is it the computer?
I don't know if there's a person, but I do know that this has been going on for a hell of a lot longer than you'd realize. Like I had this conversation one time and somebody sent me a picture of like a fantasy football magazine with Joe Montana on the cover.
Come on,
and I was like, wait a minute.
I think it started with fantasy baseball.
You think so?
Yeah.
I played that too. I've been last place in Bonte's
which was it? I think a derivative of like the old Stratomatic,
right?
And it's like, well, how do we get what the guys are actually doing on the field? They roll that, but mid '80s, I would imagine.
I just Googled founder of fantasy football, and one name pops right up.
Give it to us.
His name is Bill Winkenbach. Wow. Fantasy gridiron football emerged in 1962.
Okay.
So this was
Bill Winkenbach, then part owner of the Oakland Raiders, gathered with some friends in a New York City hotel, and together they created the first fantasy football league, which was dubbed the GOPPPL, the Greater Oakland Professional Pigskin Prognosticators League.
There you go.
Wow.
There it is.
So they were doing it by hand. They had to do the scoring by hand.
Yeah, people were doing it by hand until the mid-90s.
Yeah, look at JD. You can do it in your sleep.
I still know some people who have a sticker board at their house when they do this.
Amazing.
Yeah. 1962.
So what did I hear about you and Bonte in Chicago? And the reason I bring that up, guys, is one of my best friends, 49er Frankie, diehard Giant Niner fan and Notre Dame fan, is going to the Chi to see Notre Dame. I forget, they got some muffin. They play Saturday, then the Giants, and then Sunday to the Bears. You and Bonte in the house?
In the house. I'm not doing Notre Dame though. We do not have time or the mileage for Notre Dame. But yeah,
That's dope.
I'm heading out
Watching
there
the
Friday.
team on the road, Larry.
We're gonna be at Wrigley on Saturday afternoon and Soldier on Sunday afternoon with a fantasy draft sandwich in between. This is my boys.
That's serenity.
I mean, come on. Watching your team on the road in some ways is better than watching them at home.
Do you know what's wild? I
believe that.
I was thinking about this, and by the way, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM, and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app. I was thinking about this, and maybe I guess, like from a media perspective, have I ever been sent? I don't know if I've ever been to a 49er road game.
Man,
they're great.
I don't know that I'm trying. Man. Like my mind is running to all the stadiums that I've been to in a work capacity, and so I know that I've never been as a fan. And I don't think I've even ever been in a work capacity.
I went to the 95 Niners Cowboys at Texas Stadium, the Elvis Kerr-back.
Come on.
13.5-point dogs against the Cowboys.
And they shocked the world.
Cowboys won the Super Bowl that year.
But they beat the hell out of Dallas that day.
It was like 31-13. Derek LaVille went high-stepping into the end zone.
I heard y'all this morning with memories, Jay. It was special.
Yeah, Jerry, Gerback to Rice early, right? Took a slant, 80 yards. Maybe the first play.
Mert was doing the chicken dance.
Oh, Merton.
Ricky Jackson had a key pick and our key sack in that thing.
So good.
College football, because I like to bet on the ponies.
Yep,
I saw you at the Pac-12 Network. Shout out to Willard.
Yeah, we got good. We got going, and by the end of the day, everybody was drinking and depressed. It was not a great day for the Pac-12 by any stretch.
But the worst take is that the Pac-12's out of the national.
Of course, it's a bad take.
Come on. I'm like, give me something better than give me a producer to say, you know what, we're not doing that.
They were never in, though. Right? Don't you have to be in before you go?
No, but hold on. You're flexing. Flexing your Florida pick. If Utah wins that game, which they should have twice,
I can't believe.
Then people are very, very excited about where Utah is. USC is your other contender. They look great.
Ooh, they look super.
They played a cupcake.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they look like Why would you? I guess my point would be. It's an Oregon reaction.
Okay, and there you go.
They're not mad at the conference.
Show up at all.
They're not mad at the conference. It's Oregon looked totally embarrassed and overwhelmed, and then Utah lost a game they probably should have won.
Oh, that was.
But to say your season's over when you lose a road game at the Swamp, come on,
it's
man.
not over.
No, of course not. But that's the way we all talk now.
I love it.
But anyway, that was a hell of an opening weekend for college football. There was a lot of games. Came down to the last 2 minutes and people doing all kinds of foolish things to win and lose games. I want to shout out the East Carolina kicker. My man probably had a really, really difficult weekend. So East Carolina's playing NC State. They're losing the whole game. And NC State's up by a touchdown. All right. And then here comes NC State to put the absolute close on this game. They're just marching down the field. And they get inside the 5, and East Carolina gets inspired. And they have a goal line stand. And they pushed that running back on 4th down. They pushed him back to the 25-yard line. Like they were fired up in there at home. So they take that ball now down 7 with about 5 minutes to go, and they march. And they go down with 2 minutes to go, and they're into the end zone for the game-tying touchdown, and the stadium is on its ear, and everybody's going crazy, and here comes the kicker. And I mean, Shank is not a fair enough word to talk about what this young man did to that extra point. But I'm not done yet because there's still 2 minutes left in the game. They create a 3-and-out. They get the ball back, march right down the field for a 40-yard field goal.
What's he do?
And the same young man comes out, and he can rejuvenate his reputation on campus, and he missed that sucker also. And
Cody
I was
Parkman.
like, my gosh, that man, I don't know what dorm room he's in, but it is not going to be nice.
Steiny and I,
That's
JD,
rough.
we fought because I said, you know what? I respect kickers, but they don't do what the others do. It used to be two-a-days.
That's true.
And if you get in the end zone, damn it, little Johnny or little Tommy, it shouldn't be dependent on him kicking it like it's a rock on the beach, messing it up. And it goes back to that LSU Florida State game. We all got robbed from OT of a great game. Let the players decide, not these kickers.
Hold on, though. But
automatic 7.
I mean, that one got blocked.
7 when you get in the end zone.
Blocked. Yeah, that means a kid did make a play.
But if it was an automatic 7, it wouldn't have been blocked.
Right, but
we would have OT.
But he made a play. You're asking for kids to make plays. He made a play.
Yeah, that's
one
different.
He just missed.
But
what is your argument, Goo?
There's no excitement, Larry, in an extra extra point.
So get rid of kickers?
No, I'd like the field goal, but make the extra point 7 because that team that marched up and down to have little Johnny come out there because he ain't doing his job and there's no excitement in that. And now we got to have him on suicide watch because his whole rest of his tenure at school might be in jeopardy. Make it 7 points. Don't rob the fans and the players that put their neck and chest on the line like Florida, LSU and Florida State, man. We got robbed to OT.
I love the extra point. If only because it allows the opportunity. Do you go for 2 or not? And we were all thinking, is LSU going to go for 2? Or are they going to play for the tie? They wind up playing for the tie. It gets blocked.
Did Brian Kelly go to the microphone in the post game and go Tigers?
Yeah.
Go Tigers.
What was his word? His lexicon.
Work on your accent and work on your special teams. Anyway, the young man's name is not Little Johnny. Okay. It's Owen Daffer. Little Owen. Little Owen.
Very popular.
He'll never make that up to his team. I would think.
Little Owen Missed a Kick is the children's book that I'm going to read to my son.
That's a full
tonight.
Deification of 5.
Little Owen. Yeah. No, but I don't know.
Come on, Willard. Come on.
I feel you, but it feels that's similar to me with like go to the extra inning rule in baseball, and all of a sudden you hate the rule because it bit your team on this particular night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've been kicking extra points since before we were born, and now suddenly, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's part of it. You gotta be good everywhere if you're good. To be good, you got to be good everywhere.
And they aren't
kicker included.
They aren't made as frequently as they used to be now that they moved them back a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not exciting to me. The extra point, that's a given.
Do you want, like in the NFL, would you like to see the field goal in overtime, basically canceled, so just play it out for a touchdown?
No, I'm not. You're okay with that? I love the field goal. That's when you come into play, Give me a field goal.
Give you a field goal. Just
the extra point is a free throw. It's football's version of a free throw. And to have the guys, you said it, march down and get injured doing so, the euphoria celebrating. And I had a stopwatch on Florida State. I'm like, LSU when they scored, and then everything went, my God.
Hey, you can always.
But had that been an automatic 7, we're talking about maybe one of the best games and finishes ever.
Or they just blocked the.
Yeah,
or they could go. Go for 2. Just go for 2. You want to get rid of the kicker? Go for 2.
No, but he played it right. They deserve to go to OT. Don't risk it all.
You got to execute the play. I mean, like you called it the free throw, but you don't want to ban the free throw. We know Ramil Robinson's name because of the free throw. You know what I mean? Like that, you got to just make it. You got to make it.
JD texted me over the weekend, Willard, and he had a snapshot of the Giants lineup. What was it, Saturday?
It was Sunday. Which was maybe the worst lineup I've ever seen.
From a name recognition standpoint of where they were and where they're at. And we laughed. But now with last night's victory, they're 4-0.
4-0.
But I mean what I'm about to say. When I watch Ohtani, it is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's incredible. He's one of a kind because he's being allowed to do what he does. But if Farhan somehow could just, and again, this is make a wish, get him here, you would bolster your rotation and you would have a dude that's a threat to hit it out the 2-for-1. The offseason would be made if he could just somehow get Ohtani. So wouldn't you be calling the Angels now?
Yes.
I mean,
well, hey, wait a second. Farhan just texted. He said he can't get Ohtani, but he can bring back Pat Venditti. Would you be happy with the Venditti?
Come on, man.
How about a little Venditti?
Ohtani in the Bay? You can dream, right?
Well,
the dude is
you can have
incredible.
I don't think it's that crazy of a dream. Here's the issue there, which nobody wants to take a moment and think about.
All 10 of your top 10, or
well, do you want it? And do you want to do that for someone who's a free agent at the end of the year? Like, this isn't like football where you can do or even basketball where you hear guys go. Like Juan Soto didn't do a sign and trade.
Who got booed last night?
Right? Juan Soto didn't come to San Diego and go, I will now sign with you for the next 15 years. Juan Soto might be gone in 2 years. Now that's 2 years, so they get 2.5 years out of him. But if you give up whatever you need to give up, let's go 5 prospects. Okay, for Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, and then he leaves to be a Yankee next year. Now you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Have we ever really seen that though?
You're fired.
By the way,
you see it here.
Have the Giants in our lifetime developed 5 prospects in a 2
Chili Davis, the last homegrown outfielder, I believe.
I mean,
to be something.
But that's wounding. That's
where-
fan wounding. You're right, but that's wounding.
That's
wounding.
They have, but they all came up between 2008 and 2012.
Like, I mean, so that's.
Could you imagine if you traded Bum, Posey, Sandoval?
They did exist. They were just all in that 5-year window.
The worst
They got
timing
3
of all
out of
time.
that group, man. They hit
4.
Yeah,
4. Kane, Lincecum, Bum.
No,
Posey.
titles, I mean.
Oh, 3 titles. Yeah. They all came up.
But
So-
Ohtani's so good, Mark. I
don't think it's crazy to dream about him being on the team after this year at all. I don't think that's crazy at all. Or the only way, though, that I would get into a conversation about doing prospects now for Ohtani would be I better have some.
Well,
sort
how?
of
Because that would be tampering. Or how would
No.
you get the?
No,
I'll resign. I'll re-up.
tampering.
Okay.
You don't think that Farhan can call his agent? You could call an agent and be like, "Look."
Well, not only that, the Giants' Manasian's brother works for the Angels. It's a family deal.
I think the Angels, based on the way this has played out, have actually probably messed this up. They probably should have traded him at the deadline because the price is only going to go down because of the dynamic I'm talking about.
Wow,
he's
man.
a free
Dude
agent.
is a freak of
So
nature,
are you
man.
going to give up your entire farm for someone who for 1 year?
Wait, when's he a free agent?
After this coming year.
I thought, is it a player option? Because he's not listed as a free agent.
No. Again,
After 23. After 23.
Oh, so he got one more.
So are you
one more
this
year?
offseason?
Yeah, yes, but it would have been better if you could have traded him at the deadline and the team thinks at least you're also contributing to a run this year.
Yeah.
Because now, again, like I'm going to give up my entire farm for 1 year of a guy.
As opposed to a year and a half. Okay.
It's more.
Yeah.
It's definitely because at the deadline, you're dangling. You could go win the World Series right now. You're a contender. You're in position. In the offseason, what are you dangling? I'm 0-0. I'm 0-0. And I'm going to acquire this guy for 1 year and not know what he's going to do after that? That's tough.
But would the Giants have a better shot of keeping him, having him for a year, than trying to go get him in the open market? I think you could make a case the Giants, with knowing their propensity for coming in second, they'd have a better shot keeping a guy that maybe gets used to the environment for a year.
But so you give up something. I definitely would give up something, but I'm not giving up everything.
I might go the other way on that. I mean, if you put Ohtani in this lineup and he looks behind him in the David VR, he might say, you know what? I'm tucking tail. I'm getting out of here.
That's what led to the text to Goo with the lineup from Sunday. I said,
the
Goo,
game.
how
Go
would you
ahead,
feel
go
if you were
ahead, Jimmy.
Wilmer
I need to take a
Flores?
play off.
And if Wilmer Flores wins in the game, but Wilmer Flores was essentially the only major league
You
hitter
get
that was
pulled in
hitting.
the 4th inning, a homer and a double for defense, and you're up 4 runs. What? Throw that computer out. That's what VR did. He got pulled for defense, and they were up 4 runs, and he had a homer and a double. In my world, that's hot.
Yes.
What you guys talked about this morning, Shasky, momentum. Go get him the 3rd time. But to get pulled, and they got lucky, some bad base running and calls by the third base coach. That game could have been closer. But I'm like, what? In what world, when you're hot, do you sit?
In Farhan's world, where it says that,
this is
you're
old, man.
you're a left-handed hitter and the guy's a left-handed
This
pitcher.
is getting old,
we saw
man.
that from Brandon Belt. He struggled. He came in, he had a couple hits, and all of a sudden he hits a ball off the wall, and then he got pinch hit for it.
Where are you going?
I think guys start looking at you cross-eyed too if you do that,
especially when you lose.
Shohei is making $5.5 million.
Dude,
he's worth it.
You think?
Yeah.
That's like criminal.
And next year he's ARB3, so he'll probably make 15.
Wow.
I mean, whatever. He'll go to some like some courtroom. Yeah.
Give him what he wants.
He should be able to get that doubled, right? Give me 15 for being a pitcher, or give me 15 for being a hitter.
Well, now you know what his agent's going to say, by the way, next summer.
Yeah. And
now you know exactly what he's going to say.
I know Trout's been injured, but if people want to know the most difficult professional sport, it is baseball. Exhibit A, the Angels, and Trout's whole career. But Larry, how do you got those 2 studs and still you're just a bottom feeder?
Well, it's just because they can't produce pitching. But I always love the people who use the Angels.
Buy it.
They use the Angels like, well, you know what? If you went after stars, you're going to be the Angels. What? Not necessarily. Just because you get stars doesn't mean suddenly you can't have any pitching.
Wow.
They don't have pitching, but it's not because they have Trout and Ohtani. They don't have pitching because they don't have pitching. Go get Trout I'd rather have Trout personally than Ohtani, even though Trout's had some injuries.
That's a statement.
But still to this day with the back report that we really don't know what's really.
I'd rather have Shohei Ohtani than any player in baseball.
He's a pitcher and a hitter.
End of conversation.
Larry.
End of conversation.
Yeah, but then
rather have him than Judge. I'd rather have him than Trout.
I'm with you.
Here's the
rather have him than
Let's go get him.
And now you can let him hit even after he's done pitching in the same game.
You're not factoring in. You're not factoring in a pitcher. All of a sudden, elbow twinge, my season's done. Now,
not really. DH. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, now if you're a hitter and a pitcher, I get the elbow twinge. Now your hitter's gone and your pitcher's gone.
Oh, that's
did that happen a couple of years ago? I thought he still hit for a while.
I mean, a certain injuries. If you're talking about just
if it's a disaster, if you tear a ligament. Yeah. But no, you're right that if it's just like, I got shoulder fatigue, cool, go hit home runs 5 days a week. Like, whatever. I mean, you could look at it both ways.
I guess then he'd DHs every day.
Yeah, exactly right,
man.
And now you can do that in the NL.
Hitting bombs, dude. The dude's he's special,
dude, right there.
But you take him over Trout just because Trout's had a couple injuries. Trout's not old. That's player in the game.
Older than Shohei.
He can't pitch, Larry.
Shohei
can't give you 7 innings.
Shohei's 28.
I'm just saying.
I hate. And Judge is 30. I hate their birth certificates.
Trout is 30, 31.
31?
31.
How does that back injury make him? We don't even know what's going on. Hey, he could play on my team. How about that?
Yeah. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. All right. Here comes Guru, JD, week 1, NFL Larry. Awesome.
Good stuff, man. We'll see you later this week.
Yep, absolutely.
He brings the passion.
For what?